Hey, good evening and welcome to Freedom Speech and You. I'm your host, Ken Otto. And I've been watching the Twitter trends, but the trends that I'm looking at on my laptop over here, which I'm using for tonight's opening view, is a little bit slow to update. But some of the trends I'm seeing are by Mitch, Brigitte Gabriel. Not really sure what that is. I have to look that up. Obviously, there's something about the NFL game going on right now. I've seen some tweets about Liz Cheney showing up in trends. And so we'll just get into the trends here shortly. But the big thing that I was going to talk about tonight was the Georgia election. And that was what was in the announcement. So that was what I was talking about basically tonight. And that's what I'm going to concentrate on. And I'm going to change to the other camera so we will get a much better view from this camera. So take this one out. Yep, I just wanted to start with my old laptop camera because it allows me to give you a straight head-on look and read the trends at the same time. Now, the one thing that I'm seeing is it sparkling there? It's probably okay. You might notice my beard is sparkling, probably just a little bit of keying issue there. Might want to tweak that, but because that kind of thing would probably bug me all night. So let's see, sparkle more, sparkle less. Yep, too much sparkle, less sparkle. Probably better there. Yep, better there. Okay. So TV2 Live, good to have you here. LMTV Live also, Laura, thank you for being here. Hey, Zingerberger. So we have on deck tonight, tonight's title is Georgia Vote Secured because, hey, Sheki Bobo, there was a Georgia Vote sticker that was put on one of my Facebook friends. And the vote sticker actually talks about the vote being secured. And so the person commented on it, and I quoted that person's comment and basically said, we're going to talk about the vote being secure. So let's start out with that. And so let me click that in. So bring that up. And let me bring myself down to a small box there. Don't really need to see the address of the voter registration office. See if we can tweak that for better reviewing at home. Yeah, it's good. Okay, so good evening, Andrea. Hey, glad to have our executive producer here. Okay, so we're going to talk about the security of the Georgia vote. These are the Georgia voter identification requirements. Requires a photo identification, whether in person or absentee. Tells you what's acceptable. Could be a valid state or federal government issued photo ID, including the free ID card issued by the county registrar's office or the Georgia Department of Driver Services. A Georgia driver's license, even if expired, they're a little bit more lenient than some other states. There might be some states that require you to have a current license, but what they're basically saying is if it just expired, we're not going to get you. So a student ID from Georgia Public College or University, a valid photo ID from any branch, department of agency or entity of the U.S. government, Georgia or county, municipality, board, authority, or other entity of this state. So you could have a military ID, for instance. A valid U.S. passport ID, that is typical. Valid U.S. military photo ID. Okay, so they actually do detail that you can have a photo ID. or a valid tribal photo ID containing the photograph of the voter. Bring one of those forms to vote in person. They show you what a voter ID card looks like. If you don't have one of these acceptable forms of ID, the state of Georgia offers a free ID card. Hey, bonjour, Kelly. Hey, Trailer Park Todd. Yes, Todd, the show was earlier last week because we were anticipating a conflict with Al Sparks, so we didn't want to come on at the same time. So you can get this ID card at the county registrar's office or the driver license office. And it goes into detail about what they must provide in order to get one of those. So photo identity document or approved non-photo identity document that includes legal name and date of birth, documentation showing the voter's date of birth, evidence that the applicant is a registered voter in the state of Georgia, documentation showing the applicant's name and residential address, a Georgia voter identification card shall remain valid so long as the person resides in the same county and remains qualified to vote. And then they go into detail about the photo ID for absentee voting. So if a person in Georgia sends an absentee vote, they have to include the number from their driver's license. If they don't have one, they have to include the number from their state-issued identification card. They can provide a copy or photo of a U.S. passport, the voter identification card, other photo identification card issued by a branch, department, agency, or entity of the state of Georgia or any other state or United States authorized by law to issue personal identification. United States military identification card, provided that such identification card contains a photograph of the voter. Employee identification card issued by any branch, department, agency, or entity of the United States government, Georgia state government, or Georgia county, municipality, board, authority, or any other entity of the state of Georgia, provided that such employee identification contains a photo of the voter and a tribal identification card, again, providing a photo, or a student ID card from Georgia Public College or University, or these documents. Hey, good evening, embezzler. That show your name and address, which could be a current utility bill, a bank statement, a paycheck, a government check, or other government document. And then they have a place where you can download the voting guide. So there's plenty of protection in Georgia to ensure that the vote is secure. Okay, that you have to have identification to prove who you are before you can vote. So this idea that things are just not good enough is just somebody's idea and nothing more, not the truth. So what was the other thing? There was a thing that Ron Filipowski, hello, Malcolm. There was a thing that Ron Filipowski shared, Kerry Lake voters and their protest. So let's bring that up. So remove this, present this. Make that big screen. Volume is preset, good. Okay, so bring that in. So these are Kerry Lake voters protesting.
It will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us the stage.
I want all of you to say a prayer right now. We, the people, are requesting military step in and redo our election. It was fake and false. It's full. Our government is full of corrupt people. This is how love rules.
So they're saying that the election results are false. and that there is corruption. But, you know, for there even to be corruption, look at how many people voted. Let me bring that up. For you to even hint that there is corruption, you'd have to be able to alter these votes. This is a lot of votes. Let me make that bigger. I'm gonna see, can I take myself out of the screen? I can put myself on the side, I guess would be the best thing to do. And possibly make this big as that. So this is Maricopa County elections. 1,374,427 ballots cast, a turnout of 56.82%. That's a pretty good turnout. Okay. And we're showing 708,629 for Katie Hobbs and 651,156 for Carrie Lake. We're not talking about a minuscule difference between these two. We're talking about a good difference between these two. So how would you even begin to change this vote? Because you're talking about let's see, 40,000. Like over 47,400 votes. You could do the real math and come up with a real number. But how would you even begin to alter it that much? I mean, it's just ludicrous to even think that that could be done. So that's a couple of things. We were going to look at Twitter trends. We did look briefly at that earlier. So let's do that. Share the Twitter trends. Click on that. Make that big screen. Will that work? See if I can bring myself back down to the side panel again. So maybe you can see that at home. If you can't, let me know. But basically, the Twitter trends keep changing. This one has recurred a couple of times tonight by Mitch. So let's see what's going on with that trend. So the top tweet on there is by John Fetterman. The Senate stays. This couldn't happen without Pennsylvania. Grateful for every vote, every donation, every phone call, and knock on the door that got us here. Now let's finish the job by reelecting Reverend Warnock on December 6th so it can officially be your 51st vote. Yeah, the text is a little small. Let me take it out of full screen and just blow it up some more. It's probably as much as I can blow it up. So that was that tweet. How many other tweets do we have? This one is by Florida Blue Tsunami. I've made a donation to Reverend Warnock's runoff campaign, and he's encouraging others to do that. This individual, Freedom Forever, is giving $1,000 a week, putting it on my credit card. I'm willing to go in debt to save our democracies. 50 seats won't cut it. We need the Georgia seat. Honorable Gilded Dirigible says, "You did it. We did it. I'm so damn happy." This one's a graphical one. Reinstalling democracy, 87% committed, 87% completed. Here's a Biden Fetterman 2024. Interesting. Here's some celebration going on. You've seen this celebration photo a couple of times before. So Elaine says, "Congrats to you, John. You will be fantastic, not fake like Oz, and you can care and work for the people, not against." So that's that trend. Let's go down to another trend. So let me pop myself back to full screen while I do a reset on the trends and find the trends. So how are you all doing tonight? Ginger's just trending. I wonder what that's about. These are tweets right now. So let's look at those. So take the solo off. So Ginger's just trending, and the USA Singers, which is a group that does parodies on behalf of the Democrats, parodying, making fun of the Republicans. They say most of America's current problems can be traced directly back to Ronald Reagan, Karl Rove, and Newt Gingrich. Molly says Newt is past his expiration dates. So are Ben Stein and Harry Kissinger. A little bit of advertising there. $1,074,524 dead from republicanism says, honestly, didn't you all read what Newt Gingrich said in the 1990s? He said the Republicans are going to gerrymander the shit out of the states, so no matter who is running against the Repubs, it will be impossible for them to win. It was a plan for 3 decades, but you all missed it. Yeah, they have gerrymandered the states. There are obviously some states that are remaining red, Florida and Texas being that. But, there's plenty of places where they didn't win, so. This one, Jay says, before there was Trump, there was Tom DeLay, Newt Gingrich, Strom Thurmond, and Jesse Helms. The GOP has been racist, sexist, and corrupt for years. Hey, Angela. Welcome to the chat. The face you make when you see Newt Gingrich naked. I'm not sure what that's about. Kenny Dad 12 says, some think GOP will learn from this ass kicking and try to turn towards legislating. Laughing out loud, laughing out loud, laughing out loud. Buckle up. They're going to try to burn democracy for the ground. Haven't you all noticed Newt Gingrich is relevant again on Fox News? There are no coincidences. So. AL says, new former House Speaker Newt Gingrich was testified before the Atlanta area special grand jury investigating efforts by Donald Trump and his allies to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. A Virginia judge ordered Wednesday. Hey, Benny Loco. Benny Loco says, hope everyone enjoyed our small victorious weekend. I did. So. Spandex gives me the creeps, says Chris Christie is the new Chris Christie is the new Newt Gingrich. Can he just go away? We don't care what he says. Gary says the party, such as it is, only cares about power. Salvaging a fascist American party isn't good for democracy. They had their chance for decades. Asked Newt Gingrich when he took out a contract on America. It's all about power. So there's another one about Newt Gingrich. Let's change trends. That's probably enough about that. So let's see what the other trends are. Okay, this one I saw earlier too and was interested in, Mary Trump. So let's see what's coming from Mary Trump tonight. Bring that back in. Obviously, you should watch the Mary Trump show. So Mary Trump tweeted 21 hours ago, given historical precedent, conventional wisdom, and the framing used over the last few months, I think it's fair to call this a blue tsunami. Tuck Frump says, Donald will burn everything down if Republicans turn their backs on him. Quoting Mary Trump. He pretty much has done that. Ali Belshi also quotes Mary Trump. Donald Trump is the most dangerous person to the Republican Party. That's a quote from Mary Trump. She adds, whether he runs for president or pretends to, quote, Trump will burn everything down if he feels like he's going down, end quote. Well, he's pretty much done that with Ron DeSantis, burning him down with his new nickname for him. So I guess all these people are quoting Donald's burning down statement by Mary Trump. Stephen Lennar says, Mary Trump says Donald Trump's a threat to the Republicans. No, he's a threat to this whole country. Yes, indeed. Benny Loco says he's the most dangerous person to the planet, for fuck's sake. Agree, Benny Loco. Pamela Dubsky. Trump family, excluding Mary Trump, are the most devious, disgusting examples of humanity, as she quotes Andrew Wortman. Watching Donald Trump mocking stroke victims and describing John Fetterman as, quote, mush for brains today is bringing back the kind of rage I felt when his father mocked a disabled reporter. This whole family is so unconscionably reprehensible, they need to invent a new word for it. And I said Donald Trump, but I meant to say Donald Trump Jr., excuse me. So Donnie Jr. is taking after Daddy. We won't play that. Reading is enough. Okay, this article says Mary Trump warns much worse things will happen about Trump being indicted, so we should probably delve into that. So I'll have to switch screens. And bring the size of the screen up quite a bit. I'm not sure if there's anything on the edge of the page. Is it all okay? Yeah, that's all advertising, so I can bring it up some more. All right. The article says Mary Trump warns much worse things will happen if Trump indictment decision not made before 2024 announcement. This is in the Independent from 3 days ago. She warned that the clock is ticking for the DOJ and Merrick Garland to decide on whether to indict her uncle now that the midterm elections are over. Ms. Trump was speaking on the Dean Obadiah show on SiriusXM, discussing the results of the midterms with the host and the much-teased possibility that the former president will announce another bid for the White House imminently. She expressed her wish that the Justice Department would now quickly come to a decision on whether or not to indict him. It is believed the former president could be indicted either for taking classified national security related documents to his home at the Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach, or for inciting the Jan 6 Capitol riot in his final days of office. Dean Obadiah asked, "Are you hopeful? Not tomorrow, but in the near term, we're going to see Donald Trump indicted for just one of his crimes. Just pick any," end quote. Ms. Trump replied, "I don't know if I'm hopeful, but all I can say is he has to be. I don't know whether he will be or not, but he has to be, because if he isn't, then much worse things are going to start happening," end quote. The former president's niece argued that the decision whether or not to indict her uncle may have to take into account not just the amount of evidence against him, but also the actions he might take in retaliation. She said, and I quote, "I guess it comes down to one. I guess if they feel they have enough evidence to indict, which it would be shocking if they didn't, because I think we all know that they did like 2 years ago," end quote. Quote, and two, just if they understand what Donald's about to do in terms of playing this very cynical card. If I'm announcing, then any attack on me will be political, one, right? Or any indictment of me will be politically motivated. So I think the DOJ has about a week," she added. She was quoting him within that. So that's what's going on. She continued, quote, "They cannot wait until Donald decides to announce. So again, hopeful or not, it's what they have to do, whether they will do it or not. Unfortunately, your guess is as good as mine," end quote. The former president has teased a 2024 announcement might come as soon as 15 November. In August, Ms. Trump reacted to the release of the Mar-a-Lago search affidavit that led to the discovery of highly classified national security documents at the home and asked, quote, "This should be enough, yes?" End quote. Ms. Trump, who has long publicly criticized the former president, appealed to be calling for him to be criminally indicted in her tweet. And that's the end of the article. So that's the end of the article. Sorry, I had to drink something before the cough started. Excuse me. So that's some of the trends that I've seen so far. Let's scale it down, take a peek at a few more of the trends. What do we have? I don't know. I think I'll skip that one. It's probably just a meme. There's a meme going around. Yeah, there's some memes about Trump creating more graves for his 2 living wives, but I don't think we'll go there. That's not fair. Check my email. Okay. Will do. Devices. Okay, let's see. Let's see the email. So, got an email from my executive producer, so just hang on. It would be probably quicker if I pulled it up on the other computer, so give me a second. Sorry about the delay. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Okay. All right, it's coming up. Just one or two more clicks. Okay, so this is the latest news headline. Gotta get it on the screen though. Hang on. So click. But this is really good news coming up. It's worth the wait. Okay. Bring it up to full screen before I put it up there. And click it up here. So Democrats maintain control of the Senate. So let me solo that and play that. Oops.
Joining me now is someone who knows Donald Trump better than most people, his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen. Michael is the host of the very important Mea Culpa podcast. It's really interesting. I've had a chance to be on it a few times. He's the author of Revenge, How Donald Trump Weaponized the Department of Justice Against His Critics, and Disloyal, a memoir, the true story of the former personal attorney to President Donald J. Trump. There's a lot there, my friend. Thanks for coming in person, by the way.
Good to see you. Thanks for bothering me on a Sunday.
There's a lot to unpack, including do you believe he's going to declare that he's going to run for president on Tuesday? You've generally not thought that's going to happen. And there are people around him who seem to be advising him, both in public and privately, to not do this. But he says he's going to do it.
Now, that would include both his daughter and his son-in-law, as well as a host of other people. I've always maintained...
Because running has not been good for Jared and Ivanka.
Well, it wouldn't be good for them. It's been excellent for them. I mean, he pulled down $600 million, $2.5 billion from the Saudis. Right. They've done very well from their time in the White House. One of the things also, and I've maintained even on your show, that I believe that Jared is the mole. And I would find it very interesting if, in fact, Donald somehow managed to get back into the White House. Could you imagine if you have an FBI informant as a senior advisor to the president? So there are many reasons.
What makes you think that?
Well, because there's just too much information that's out there right now that only somebody within the this circle of trust would actually know, for example, where these top secret documents are. But they're not even the important part anymore. The important thing that I've talked to you about this a lot. Donald's not going to run. There is no benefit. And I listen to these pundits talk about how if he declares his candidacy, then all of these legal issues go away. They do not. Just because you announce that you want to run for the president doesn't turn around and it doesn't stop Tish James's case in the Attorney General here in New York. It doesn't stop the district attorney's case here in New York, the Georgia case that's coming up, or any other multitude of cases that are now currently pending against Donald. There's no effect on. Could you imagine if every single person who's committed a crime turned and said, you know what, I've decided I'm going to run for the presidency, so this is all going to be stayed. That's not how it works. On top of that, and more importantly, Donald is a fragile ego. So there's not a diaper big enough for him to actually be called a loser again. And statistically, you just posted on your show, statistically, he is more unfavorable than Joe Biden is to the country, which nobody thought was even possible. Nobody thought it was possible that they were going to keep the Senate. And who knows, they couldn't even possibly hold the House, which I don't think. But he's so wildly unpopular, not just in his own party, but nationally, that there's absolutely no way in the world, no way that he's going to end up running. Now, and by the way, can I say one more thing? So now that George is really off the table because they have it, they have this 50 number. What do you think? Why does he have to wait till Tuesday? He's always said, oh, maybe I'm going to wait till after Georgia. That's December 6th. That's not Tuesday. She's already trying to push that down the road. Well, Georgia's not relevant anymore, right? It's relevant because we want to win it, but it's not relevant in the scheme of things. Announce tomorrow. Let's see, big man. Announce tomorrow.
Right. Let's talk about the Republican Party, which remains in thrall. You were a senior official in the Republican Party. The Republican Party,
as a Democrat. People forget that. Okay. I've always been a Democrat. I get a lot of ribbing on social media. Oh, you only became a Democrat after Donald threw you under the bus. It's not true. I've been a Democrat since the 80s.
But you held office in the Republican Party. It's very senior office.
It's an interesting, listen, this world is interesting.
I guess so. All right. But the point I'm getting at is that the Republican Party officially supports Donald Trump. They will not support somebody running against him. They will eliminate, like they did last time when Joe Walsh and Bill Weld and all these other people ran. They just eliminated the primaries. They will not allow a candidate to run against Donald Trump if Donald Trump wants to run. So Ron DeSanctimonious, as he likes to call him, is in some polls running against Donald Trump. What do you think of what Joe Walsh said there? That it doesn't matter if there's Trump and then there's Trumpism. And Ron DeSantis, who's not his friend right now, does support a lot of the same things.
Yeah, I think the Republican Party has now come to the realization that Donald is not good for the party. And I don't agree with Joe on that. I believe that Ron DeSantis, if in fact he announced, the Republican Party would do actually what they did when Donald first announced his candidacy in 2015. They're going to take a step back and they're going to turn around and say, you know what, let's let the process play out and see who Republicans want. Now, me personally, I'm not a fan of Ron DeSanctimonious either. I think he's Donald Trump 2.0. So are we actually doing better for this country by having someone like Ron DeSantis? I'd rather see someone like Joe Walsh.
Who's honest about who he is. Yes. He comes by his conservative principles and has stuck by them. What about all this stuff about the Wall Street Journal, about News Corp, about Fox, about Murdoch, about the New York Post, all of these institutions that Donald Trump depended on, also Twitter, who knows whether he'll get back on Twitter or not. Truth Social has not got the same sway that Twitter has had. Donald Trump is losing some of the...
There's 8 people on it. How could they?
Donald Trump's losing the institutional support that he's got. But as I was talking to Mary Trump about earlier, that stuff doesn't make him back off and reconsider. It seems to make him want it more.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure I agree with Mary on that point. I agree with a lot of the things that she said. I'm not sure that I agree. Remember what we did during the campaign. Remember what Donald did when he went ahead and attacked Ted Cruz. He put the photo, National Enquirer, of Ted Cruz's father with Lee Harvey Oswald in the caption, Ted Cruz's father killed JFK. And then they did it to Marco Rubio by putting him in a swimming pool naked with a bunch of guys claiming it was a cocaine binge. He then also was able to use the friendship, the power, the relationship with Fox News Corp to continue to promote these lies, this misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. He no longer has that. He's really isolated to himself and his Untruth Social, again, which has 8 people in it. Nobody cares. By the way, you're probably one of the 8 people, because I'm not on it. I don't see what Untruth Social has to say. I don't care what he has to say. In fact, Republican Party doesn't care what Donald has to say anymore. Yes, he has his millions of people, his 18% of the Republican Party, and waning. Give it the 2 years. He's going to become more and more inconsequential, more and more irrelevant, which will drive him crazy. So he will say more bombastic stuff along with Don Jr. and Eric as they start screaming and yelling about how their dad was unjustly treated and so on. It doesn't matter. The case is going to finish. He's going to end up being, probably, in my opinion, indicted, incarcerated. We don't know. I leave up to the jury. But things are not going well for Donald. It would not make sense for him to join in this 2024 race.
Well, you have been consistent in your approach to this, so we're going to watch it very closely. Thanks for coming in, my friend. Good to see you.
Always good to see you, Mike.
All right, we'll talk to you soon again. Michael Cohen is Donald Trump's former personal fixer and attorney. He's the host of the Mea Culpa podcast. His latest book is called Revenge: How Donald Trump Weaponized the Department of Justice Against His Critic. His earlier book is Disloyal. Joining me now is someone who knows Donald Trump.
Okay, so that previous clip comes from MSNBC. It was posted on Michael Cohen's Instagram, and it was brought to you by our executive producer, Andrea. Thank you, Andrea, for that clip. So that's where that comes from. Let me pull the clip out, and I can leave myself out of that. Okay, so back to the trends. Let's see. Free speech comes at a price sometimes. That's one of the things. The podcast is designed to have discord that is charitable among the people in chat. So there are rules to the chat, and the moderators make and enforce those rules. Follow what the moderators say. Okay. Why is George Conway trending? There's a little bit of stuff going on. So let's see what we got here. Bring this up to appropriate size for the screen. So there's a video here that is interesting. I'm not exactly sure why it's related to that, but it is the first video that comes up, and it is worth noting. So let me pause the video and bring it back to its start before I put it on the screen. So gotta change what's on the screen. That one. So it's a Liz Cheney clip, something that she said previously. Levels are good. Full size it. Put myself down.
There's a reason why people serving in our government take an oath to the Constitution. As our founding fathers recognized, democracy is fragile. People in positions of public trust are duty-bound to defend it, to step forward when action is required. In our country, we don't swear an oath to an individual or a political party. We take our oath to defend the United States Constitution. And that oath must mean something. Tonight, I say this to my Republican colleagues who are defending the indefensible. There will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain. Finally, I ask all of our fellow Americans As you watch our hearings over the coming weeks, please remember what's at stake. Remember the men and women who have fought and died so that we can live under the rule of law, not the rule of men. I ask you to think of the scene in our Capitol Rotunda on the night of January 6th. There, in a sacred space in our constitutional republic, the place where our presidents lie in state, watched over by statues of Washington and Jefferson, Lincoln and Grant, Eisenhower, Ford, and Reagan. Against every wall that night encircling the room, there were SWAT teams, men and women in tactical gear with long guns, deployed inside our Capitol building. There in the rotunda, these brave men and women rested beneath paintings depicting the earliest scenes of our republic, including one painted in 1824 depicting George Washington resigning his commission, voluntarily relinquishing power, handing control of the Continental Army back to Congress. With this noble act, Washington set the indispensable example of the peaceful transfer of power, what President Reagan called nothing less than a miracle. The sacred obligation to defend this peaceful transfer of power has been honored by every American president, except one. As Americans, we all have a duty to ensure that what happened on January 6th never happens again, to set aside partisan battles, to stand together to perpetuate and preserve our great republic. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's a reason why.
Okay, so I'm not really sure why that's connected with the tweets about the principle behind the Lincoln Project. So we'll have to figure out why that came up, but that came up. That was interesting. That was worth watching again. The fact that Donald Trump was the only president who didn't participate in the peaceful transfer of power. So I'll have to figure that out. And that video clip came to us from Midas Media. So thank you, Midas Touch, for that. Yeah, if I can figure out why that's associated with the person whose trend I was following, I'll figure that out. But anyway, that video was worth seeing again. That's one of her best moments. Why it's associated with George Conway, I'm not really sure why, though. Why those? This tweet by George Conway is like several days ago. It's on the 7th, so I'm not really sure why he's trending. So we'll move on. Trending is Minnie Pearl. I hope that. Is Minnie Pearl still alive or dead? I don't remember. Minnie Pearl. You think I would remember that? Okay, she died in 96, so she is indeed dead. Must be her birthday or something. I should have kept that up long enough to figure out why she's trending. Am I gonna Nope, not her birthday either. No idea. Sometimes Shredder trends don't make sense. Hey, Trekker John, welcome. So, anyway. Move to Russia is trending. Is this what they're suggesting? Yeah. Republican Party is dead after it loses midterm election in Arizona, and somebody tweeted that they should move to Russia. The interesting thing is actually the source of the article. So you're going to be surprised by that. So let's examine that just out of sheer curiosity. So stop sharing that, start sharing this. Yeah, this source might surprise you. It's Fox News actually reporting Republican Party is dead after major midterm election losses in Arizona, Pennsylvania, Nevada. And they're saying they're attributing that to Josh Hawley. It says that Hawley's been critical of the Republican Party and Mitch McConnell. So let's make that bigger because that text is just too small for you all to see at home. The article reads, Republicans need to rebrand and build something new after they failed to retake a majority of U.S. Senate or meet general expectations for 2022 midterm elections, one of the party's younger members said. On Saturday, shortly after Democrats picked up a key victory in Nevada, where incumbent Senator Catherine Cortez Masto defeated Republican challenger Adam Laxalt, Senator Josh Hawley took to Twitter to say the Republican Party is dead. The old party is dead, he said. Time to bury it, build something new. "42-year-old Missouri Republican is among a younger group of Senate Republicans who have expressed reservations for or straight opposition to current Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell, who is 82. Hawley's been vocally critical of the Republican Party after they failed to win in Pennsylvania, where Oz fell short of defeating Fetterman, and in Arizona, where Mark Kelly fended off Republican hopeful Blake Masters. Hawley said, "You can't expect voters to vote Republican unless you give them an agenda they care about." Well. Fascinating. He actually gets it. He tweeted that on Friday. So this is his tweet. The old party's dead. Time to bury it, build something new. The day before, Hawley said Republican machine lost big, his quotation, in the midterms, and said their legislative priorities were not being supported by the American people. He continued, quote, Washington Republicanism lost big Tuesday night. When your agenda is to cave to Big Pharma on insulin, cave to Schumer on gun control and Green New Deal infrastructure, and tease changes to Social Security and Medicare, you lose, he wrote. He also suggested Republicans failed to present their own ideas and initiatives to voters and only pointed to failures of the Democratic Party. He said, quote, not enough to say the other side is no good, have to offer an actual agenda, end quote. Hawley was also among a group of Republicans joined by Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Rick Scott, Cynthia Lummis, who urged the Senate to postpone its leadership election until after the Georgia runoff election with Republican Herschel Walker and Democrat Raphael Warnock. So he does not want to do this voting yet. Hey, Nick Rich 56. Hello. Good evening. Hey, Clayton. Hey, Andrea. What are we talking about tonight? We're just talking about Twitter tweets. We talked about the election in Georgia. We talked about the election in general. And now we're reading actually a Fox News article about what Josh Hawley said about his own party. Rubio even tweeted the Senate GOP leadership vote next week should be postponed. I guess they want to get rid of McConnell. I'm sure Mitch McConnell would say, object. But he would say that with his teeth stuck in his mouth. I object. I can't say his voice. It's funny, I can't do his voice tonight. Sometimes I can do it. Says he added. So I guess this is talking about Rubio. First, we need to make sure that those who want to lead us are genuinely committed to fighting for the priorities and values of working Americans of every background who gave us big wins in states like Florida, said Rubio. And Hawley agreed. So Hawley said, exactly right. I don't know why Senate GOP would hold a leadership vote for next Congress before this election's finished. We have a runoff in Georgia Senate. Are they saying that doesn't matter? Don't disenfranchise, he wrote. So that's what he put in his tweet. Several other Republicans, notably, including former President Donald Trump, have expressed frustration with McConnell following Tuesday's election results. He's the worst, Trump wrote on social media. Hey, Rosebud, good evening. Despite calls for a postponement of Senate GOP aid, confirmed to Fox News Digital that leadership election will go on as planned. So they'll probably stick McConnell back in there. And, the Republicans will be mad because they'll have the same old guy that they blame for everything instead of blaming themselves for their own crappy policies or lack thereof. So just the way it is. It's like we have another email, so let me check email. Or else that's my other email. Click and see whether that's just personal. Find out what that is about. I'll wait till that comes up. Meanwhile, so do we have any new trends? Texas Giants. Okay, so there's another one coming in from Andrea. Okay. Reload so I can get that. Okay, she's got a couple more for us. So a couple more links coming in from Andrea as soon as I get them over to the computer that I can play them from easily without losing view of your chat. So give me a couple of seconds here. And there goes one of them. There goes the other one. So I'm checking the email. Okay, so I got that one. And this is an Instagram, so let me open that up. So So I got that ready. Just got to bring that up on screen. Has that got a volume level? I don't know. So we'll just, hopefully it's good volume. Let me see how big I can make that. And get this banner out of the way. That's probably most of his video. So let's see.
Hey guys, what's up? This is a very important video for you to watch. Please take 2 minutes tops and check this out. I think this is going to be one of the most mind-blowing and important things that you see all year long. For those of you that spend a lot of time on TikTok, and I know a lot of you do, you got to watch this, okay? Because TikTok it's owned by a big Chinese company, and the reality of things is that, you know, the world is essentially run by 3 countries: the United States, China, and Russia, okay? And they're all competitive, and they all want to be on top. And they're sending you all this free content, but you got to think about, like, why are they sending you a certain version of TikTok when they're sending a different version of it to a Chinese audience? Check this out. I just want the best for you. You only get one life, and I want you to be the best version of yourself. And I don't like the idea that you're being, like, conditioned mentally to be dumb, essentially, you know, not to sugarcoat it, because you only get that one life, and I want you to be the best version of yourself. Check this out.
It's owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance, and Harris says the version that's served to Chinese consumers, called Douyin, is very different from the one available in the West.
In their version of TikTok, if you're under 14 years old, they show you science experiments you can do at home, museum exhibits, patriotism videos, and educational videos. And they also limit it to only 40 minutes per day. Now, they don't ship that version of TikTok to the rest of the world. So it's almost like they recognize that technology is influencing kids' development, and they make their domestic version a spinach version of TikTok, while they ship the opium version to the rest of the world.
The version served to the West has kids hooked for hours at a time. The impact, Harris says, is predictable.
There's a survey of preteens in the US and China asking what is the most aspirational career that you want to have. And the US, the #1 was influencer.
Social media influencer.
And in China, the #1 was astronaut. Again, you allow those 2 societies to play out for a few generations, I can tell you what your world is going to look like.
Okay, so you learned that they are conditioning you to react differently if you're a child. They're giving you a better educational background by limiting your access in China, but here in America, just push TikTok all day. Have as much as you want, kids. You know, just watch everything. Hi, Carly Martin. Welcome to the broadcast. So I think there was another one that Andrea sent, so let's bring that up. Okay, so this is one from Ron Filipowski. So get levels set on this, bring it back, and put that in screen. Okay, full screen it. And bring it back up here. And to make it full screen for you, solo.
And a healing from all the unrighteousness that is taking place. My fellow Americans, we're in danger of a third world war. We as a family of one truth must hear this now. Look at this lie, this deceit that continues day after day. Can you not all see this lie? We must all wake up. Wake up, because if we don't see this lie, this land will die. Die in its beauty, its freedom, its opportunity. It's supposed to be the land of the free. It's far from this. It's a dark web, a dark world, but not for long, because, my friends, a change is coming and a new light will emerge. We must all see this truth and allow justice to take place now. You see, the only way we can win these elections is to see the lies, deceit, and corruption from the left, the media, and the unknowns who know who they are. Let us all come together and to vote for true justice for all. Let us pray that the one president who understood truths and had the best interest of the American people, the American dream, President Donald Trump, will return to the presidency. He and only he can stop this swamp, this deceit and injustice. Allow President Trump to rebuild our soil and our land so we can rise to her glory. Much love to you.
So what happened to the soil? He said allow him to rebuild the soil and the land. Did the soil disappear just because Trump's not president? I don't know what happened there. The preface for that, let me give you the preface for that. Let me bring that down to what Ron Filipowski put. Actor Jon Voight isn't happy about the midterms. Quote, it's a dark web, a dark world, but not for long. A new light will emerge. The one president who understood truth, Trump will return to the presidency. Allow Trump to rebuild our soil and our land so that we can rise to our glory. What happened to the soil? Are we talking about the fact that he dug up the ground and buried his wife? Is that the disturbed soil that he's referring to? I have no idea. I just know that I've never seen Donald Trump with a shovel, let alone gardening. So, I don't know there. It just boggles the mind what that guy thinks about Trump and thinks that he's the savior of everything. Hey, Robin. Good evening. And I see somebody saying hi to Jim. Is Jim hiding out there? Oh, there is Jim. Jim says not interested in anything Jon Voight has to say. Yeah, well, you know what the phrase is, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. So you have to look at your enemies once in a while and see what it is they're cooking up so that you know what they're doing. I mean, everything they talk about, that's what you have to be watchful for, because you see what really had happened. Any new impressions, he says. I haven't really thought about him tonight. Maybe throw a name at me, Clayton. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know. Maybe. Looks like I got another email coming in. So I'll click and look and see. Okay, Andrea's got another one for us. So move that over to the computer it needs to be on. Impressions, Carlene. Yeah, I did do some impressions. I try. I'm not as good as some of the great impressionists, but occasionally I try. Occasionally I do a couple of them. Because they've got me. Oh, can I do Arnold Schwarzenegger? I'll be back. No, it doesn't really come out that good. It's more like I'll be back. So I'm almost like it's like I'm doing Alex Jones doing Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm Alex Jones, and I'll be back. No, doesn't work so good. My voice is not really working. Can I do Stuttering John? Only when I need to eat, I start to stutter and sort of sound like I'm a stutterer, but no, not really. Okay, so Andrea has one from Texas, Paul, and those of you who tuned in late, this is one of the ones that we did earlier. So I'll do Texas Paul's take on this one. And what Texas Paul says to preface this is, these trough waffles will get it. Meanwhile, here in Texas, where there are real issues of radically off returns, we get jack's shit. And he's quoting one Filipowski's tweet, Kerry Lake supporters outside the Maricopa ballot counting center, quote, "We the people are requesting the military to step in and redo our election. It was fake." So this is them protesting. I will bring up the video, share this tab. This is them protesting. We showed this earlier at the very beginning of the show. So this is them protesting in Arizona.
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day.
I want all of you to say a prayer right now. We the people are requesting military step in and redo our election. It was fake and false. It's full. Our government is full of corrupt people.
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day.
So if you couldn't hear her at the beginning, she's praying the Our Father, the Christian prayer. And, they're just like going on and on and on and on. So for those of you wondering about Stuttering John, Andrea has the word. He is okay, and he will be back after the new year. So, okay. So anyway, we had that one on. We had that one on. We had that one on. So there is a trend about some stuff moved to Russia, but that's just basically people doing their own tweets. Russian asset is a trend. Wonder if that's about Trump. No, it's actually about some others. Oh, that's interesting. So these are some interesting ones. Let's bring these up. Let me get that adjusted for screen viewing. So let me bring that one up. Bring these tweets up. Russian asset. Okay. I had to stream and put myself in a small box. So the Twitter trend is Russian asset, and here's some of the tweets with that. Is Tulsi Gabbard a shameless grifter or a notorious Russian asset? It was not long ago that a former KGB agent, Yuri Shevets, claimed that Donald Trump was groomed to be a Russian asset for 40 plus years. Instead of the media inviting Shevets to speak, they decided to perpetuate a false narrative about Biden's low approval rating, which was a lie. Russian asset says what? This one is Senator Ron Johnson. Greetings from Portlandia, it says on this side, July 4, 2018, 1-800 Moscow. Russian asset. This is Tulsi Gabbard saying today's Democrat Party does not believe in our constitutionally protected right to freedom of religion. They are hostile toward people of faith and spirituality, actively undermine our religious freedom, to which Patricia says, listen, you Russian asset. Democrats have guns, American flags, not desecrated or Confederate flags, authentic American flags, and religion. I'm sick and tired of your party co-opting these. It's Democratic Party. You pretend to be part of it for a while. Take a seat, says Patricia. Yay, Patricia. Thumbs up. Dash Jabrowski says it's been nearly 3 months since Donald Trump stole top secret documents from the White House and over a year since Yuri Shevitz claimed Trump was groomed by KGB to be Russian asset. This is my interview with American compromat Arger Craig Unger. So he's got an interview there. Astute Galoot says, bye Mitch's Russian asset face. It's pretty crazy, says CK Koshuran, if I'm saying that correctly. It's pretty crazy that Russian asset is trending and there's an entire roster of GOP traders it could be referring to. Hey, old timer. Hey, pathetic Russian asset, don't insult veterans. You sold your soul to our adversary. You're a disgrace. Obviously replying, and is replying to Tulsi Gabbard. Ron Johnson is a Russian asset, says Connecticut Yankee. Resist hateful GOP policy, says my gut feeling is Ron Johnson's a Russian asset. My gut feeling is he's compromised by China. Nauseum Nicholas Taleb says the conspiratorial cluster. 1. Crypto head. 2. Pro-Putin while libertarian. 3. Trumpologist Jan Sixer, election deniers. 4. Anti-vax. 5. Snowden is not a Russian asset. Alex Jones is repressed. Is starting to crumble. I mean, really crumble, he says. Duty to warn says we're not there yet, but a Russian asset was in the White House, seated government with Russian assets, and if the Republican state power start drinking borscht. Russian asset codename Musk says, to be fair, it's not a difficult task for a Russian asset, specifically since Russia already feel at home with the color red. The caption reads, Hillary once suggested that someone in the DNC was being groomed by Moscow to become a Russian asset. Hillary didn't mention any names, but it sued her for $50 million because I felt insulted. I dropped the lawsuit before trial and now spend my time on Fox News spreading Russian propaganda with Drucker. No, you're not blocked, Clayton. You might not see yourself, though, if you're on top chat instead of live chat. So there's plenty of stuff on that. We'll change trends. We'll look for other trends tonight. Let me see what else is out there. So let's go see Earl and Filipowski. This one's interesting. Put this one up. Bring that tweet up to the page. Okay. So Travis Tritt says, do not play into the hands of the media, the Democrats, and the rhinos in the GOP. Do not allow them to divide conservatives by pitting Trump against DeSantis. This is a ploy that no one should fall for. Come on. Mouse pointing. You're not going to allow me to move that? Okay, I got to move over to the edge, obviously. And that's not going to scroll that either. Now, you won't be able to see it, but I'll just read the rest of the tweet. Oh, that is all the tweet. Okay. So the lead part that you can't see over on the side of the page, Ron Filipowski responds, oh, yes, we made Trump call him sanctimonious at his rally. Then we made him send out the longest social media post of his life attacking DeSantis. It's our fault. Always is. No, it's just your party is falling apart. Your party is just falling apart. Some people responding to Ron's tweet can't see Travis Tritt's tweet. Obviously, they've already angered him and got blocked. So what's Hal got recently? In case you don't follow on Twitter, this is just a little something from our executive producer, Andrea. So let me get this. She goes on this side of the screen. So I texted Ken last night. This was his response this morning, and she texted me. So let me bring it up. Bring it to a bigger screen. So what it says is, she texted, we took the Senate, and I don't know if you can see it. Maybe if I take myself down to small screen. But in this little blue bubble, it says, we took the Senate, and I said, hurrah, Hal Sparks was right again. And she put, yeah. So she tweeted this out this morning to Hal to let him know that that's what I said in response to what she said. So yeah, we took the Senate, we took the lead. So let me see what else we got. Got to scale that back down so I can read the other tweets. So this is what Hal put up earlier today at 9:41 Eastern. And Andrea wants me to check email, so let's go to email. So we got more in email. Okay, we got a couple more coming from Andrea. Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate those chats, Andrea, because I didn't hear the bell go ding. I don't know why. Probably too busy running my own mouth. Okay. Okay, so ooh, this is good news. Thank you so much for this one, Andrea. This will be good news. The audience will love this one. Not going to blow the secret. It's coming, though. You'll see it. But here comes the headline. And let me bring this up to a size that can be seen at home. So put that on screen. So here's the headline. Louis DeJoy can be fired as Biden now has a majority on the Postal Service Board. And this is an article by PoliticusUSA.com. So we're going to expand that, and we're going to share that instead and make that bigger. Advertising going to come up. Probably can make that much bigger too. And of course we get bombarded with more ads. Gotta love ads though. They pay for people's websites. So the Senate finally confirmed Biden's last two nominees to the Postal Service Board, which means the president has a majority that can fire Postmaster General Louis DeJoy. The Federal News Network reported the Senate in a voice vote Thursday confirmed President Joe Biden's last two members to the United States Postal Service Board of Governors. Dan Tagliani, the former head of the General Services Administration, will serve a term that lasts through December 2027. Derek Kahn, a former deputy director of the Office of Management and Budget, will serve on a term through December 2028. So is there more to that? Okay, once Tagliani and Kahn are sworn in, a majority of the Board of Governors will be Biden nominees. The two nominees that the Senate replaces two Trump nominees, which means there is a majority on the board that can fire DeJoy. Senate Republicans are slowing down the confirmation of Biden nominees. It's been a year since three other Biden nominees were confirmed by the Senate. The reason for the delays in Biden confirmations is that Senate Republicans have been placing holds on some nominees, in other cases slowing down the process of confirmation with objections. The last two Postal Service Board nominees were confirmed 100-0, but the Senate Republican bottleneck slows down confirmations even for nominees where there are no objections. Once the Biden appointees are sworn in, Louis DeJoy's time as Postmaster General may be coming to an end. Is there more to that, or is that's probably the whole article? Not much of an article, but really good news. So that will be good news to have him out of there. And there is another one that Andrea brought in. So let's kill that one. That one. Come back to email. Okay, this one is a video. Gotta figure out how to. Where does this? Where is there a play button on this video? Okay, there it is. Yeah, because I want to start it from the beginning. Levels are good. So we got to put that in there. Okay. Make that full screen. Bring it into the video. I'll probably put myself in the little box. Okay. Back to the controls.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has addressed a gathering in the Kremlin to announce the formal annexation of 4 Ukrainian regions.
Живущие в Луганске, Донецке, Херсоне и Запорожье становятся нашими гражданами. Навсегда.
Россия здесь навсегда.
Что Россия здесь навсегда.
Всегда Россия здесь навсегда.
Россия здесь навсегда.
Навсегда.
Приступайте к отводу войск.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has addressed a gathering in the Kremlin to announce the formal annexation of 4 Ukrainian regions.
Живущие в Луганске, Донецке, Херсоне и Запорожье становятся нашими гражданами. Навсегда.
Россия здесь навсегда.
Что Россия здесь навсегда.
Всегда Россия здесь навсегда.
Россия здесь навсегда.
Навсегда.
Приступайте к отводу войск.
Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Okay, sorry about that. I was trying to avoid a copyright strike, so I did take the music out the second time, but I wanted to get myself out of the screen and my graphics out of the screen so that you could see all the words, because so much of that was on the screen in words. So I hope you could read all of that. It went by rather quickly, but basically they were making fun of him. So that's what we got going on there. Is there a caption on? No. Let me bring that back up. See if there was a caption on that. Okay, so that was tweeted out by Defense of Ukraine, and their caption says, when Russia says that they are here forever, be sure that here can only be the place of their death. And the video is by Saint Javelin on Twitter. So that's where that came from. So hopefully you were able to make sense of that. Okay. Hopefully you were able to make sense of that one. Have I seen the flashback? Is that a show? Let me bring that up. The flashback. TV show. Flashbacks of TV series from 2016 to 2017. A billionaire loses 13 years of memory and forgets how he managed to earn his fortune when it was nothing. Nope, haven't seen that one, but that would probably be an interesting show. It's on YouTube. Okay. Andrea says Pelosi will announce her decision to be Speaker again after all ballots are in from midterms. Jim asks, how much money do I make off these videos? Copyright infringement only occurs if you're monetizing the content. I don't make any money off of these videos, so And Desert says, I like watching Ukrainian Tractor cartoons. Their YouTube views goes to help Ukrainian cats who were harmed by Russian soldiers in Markpordot, Unir, if I'm saying that correctly. So play some music. They do come after me for copyrights. Like when I one night played the, what was it? The thing from our youth. When I played the video of Conjunction Junction, boy, they came after me for that one because that's ABC and Disney owns ABC. So they came after me for that one. You can't send me the links in chat because the only people who can send links in chat are mods and myself. That keeps people from putting links in that somebody might click on that take them to malicious places. Benny can because Benny is a mod. So it's only 8:38. And I need to take a quick break, so I'm going to put the break video in, and I'm going to rush and take a quick break, and I will be right back. So talk amongst yourselves. Okay, I'm back. It's always good if I get back before the break is up. Oh, thank you so much for the break. Okay. So, let me double check. See if Andrea sent any more links. Not yet. Okay. Did we get to all of the ones that she did send? Yes. Okay. So what do we have? This is an interesting comment by John. I think a copyright claim is different than a strike. Yeah, a strike is definitely when they come after you and they count it against you because it's a copyright that you've broken in all countries, including your own. Copyright claim would be like with the music that we use at the start of the show, where it is claimed to be in copyright in certain countries around the world. So limited countries have a claim, and so the show open music is actually blocked in those countries, but not in the United States. So that's the difference. Kinky says Schumer just won by a good margin in 6 more years. That's good. Hey, Kinky. Try looking up the video of Schumer stepping in front of McConnell for yesterday's speech. That would be a good one. Okay. Let's see. Schumer steps in front of McConnell. Okay. It's on CNN. There's a YouTube. YouTube is Reuters, so that's probably a good bet. Come on. It's got an advertisement on it, so I'm going to let that advertisement play before I ever put it up so y'all don't have to see, or I can skip it. Yay, I can skip the ad. Okay, so get the video, put it up on the screen, YouTube share. Full screen that. Add it to the stream. Solo.
The prerogatives of the majority. Okay, can we have some quiet, please?
Well, you all remember what they used to say about Chuck over in the house. You never want to get between Chuck and the camera. Just had a first-hand experience with that. I must say he was quite good at beating me to the microphone.
Well, that was good. That was really good. Yes. I love Andrea's reaction. That is great. Like, F you, McConnell. Was that the Secretary of State with the red tie on the left? Yeah, I think. Let's see if I can get what Jim is reacting to. I think Jim is reacting to this man. Let me click that in. You're reacting to this man, right, Jim? The Secretary of State? Dark Webster says Mitch looks like he's got a dark lips. Let's see. His lips are dark. I guess they could be considered darker. Are darker lips a sign of a medical issue? He doesn't really give a conclusive, quick answer. Kinky says, I hope Boebert loses. Still have enough votes to count and make it possible. Won't know till the 17th of the month. Trucker John says that's the best thing that Schumer ever did. Interesting. Rosebud says still makes me smile. Yep. Jim corrects and says not the Secretary of State, just a guy. Elizabeth postulates that it's the Southern fried food that makes him look that way. That's humorous. It's a wonder he didn't say, I do declare the senator beat me to the microphone. But I can't really do his voice, so. Senator Markey. Senator Markey. FCC. There's nothing new. Nothing in the last few minutes, unless it's. See if I can pull it up. I mean, there's some stuff way back to July, but that's definitely not now. So sometimes Google doesn't show you everything. So what I was going to show earlier was Hal Sparks' tweet from this morning, which he will probably no doubt talk about on Monday. And he tweeted this morning these headlines. Democrats defy history, keep Senate control and victory for Biden. Election deniers are biggest losers. Nevada Senate and Secretary of State races. Democratic Senator Mark Kelly edges out Blake Masters in Arizona. Democrat defeats. Yes, I see, Andrea. Thanks. I will check email. Democrat defeats election denier to take reins of Arizona vote. And Hal writes, the folks that tell me I should panic more can blow. Definitely so. So let me take that back out. We go to the email, send it to the right computer. Its way to the right computer. Pulling up the email over there. Come on. Okay. Okay, this is one from Bob Seska. Markey wins flawless victory. So bring that up. And share this instead and bring it on screen. Senator Markey, one of your companies is under an FTC consent decree. Auto safety watchdog, National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating another for killing people, and you're spending your time picking fights online. Fix your companies or Congress will. And that's in response to a tweet that he retweets with Elon Musk to Senator Markey and the Washington Post saying, perhaps it is because your real account sounds like a parody. So he's basically telling Musk, you can make fun of me, but your company's under an FTC, a Federal Trade Commission consent decree. And the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating his other company for killing people. That would be Tesla. I'm not sure which company is under the FTC, excuse me. I wanted to say FTC consent decree, but the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating Tesla because the auto drive feature in the cars has killed some people when people have used it improperly and not remained in charge of their cars if it doesn't work properly. So, yep. Jim says lots of Chinese government money went to GOP campaigns via shell companies. Benny Loco is back. Welcome back, Benny Loco. Also because their cars sometimes spontaneously combust. Yeah, there is the the probability of the batteries. Oh, the FTC is Twitter. Thank you, Andrea. I'm glad you know which company is being investigated. So the Federal Trade Commission is looking into Twitter. And if I didn't show where that tweet came from, it came from Bob Seska. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So thank you, Bob Seska. Thank you, Andrea, for bringing it to our attention. Got another email coming in, so let me see what we got here. So there might be a little bit of a pause in our show, folks, with me at the guest, but you get the latest, greatest tweets thanks to Andrea's executive producer duties. She makes sure that we see the latest tweets and trends. So let me get this big enough to be read. This one comes to us from Mueller, she wrote. Oops, wrong one. Sorry. Okay, Mueller, she wrote. Mueller, she wrote, writes, I still believe Donald does not want to actually run for president. If he announces Tuesday, it would only be an attempt to thwart prosecution, which won't work. If he announces he'll find a way out of the race eventually, what would that look like? Okay, so this is a multi-part tweet. Part 2 reads, perhaps I want to stay in the race, but it's clear the political witch hunt is doing everything they can to keep me from being your president. I'm the victim. I'm a martyr. I'm a political prisoner. Send me money to help me fight this. I wish I had time to be your nominee. She continues. Donald is a narcissist. He won't be running to win because he keeps losing. He will run to raise money, mount a defense, cry victim, and continue to soak his cult followers until he shuffles off this mortal coil. End. So that's her tweet. Desert Ubexer, good evening. Is everyone sub to this channel? Asked Desert Ubexer. Awesome. I know it's hard to get subs from my main channel. Laugh out loud. I hope you're subscribed to the channel. I have actually started fixing it so that, you know, I put the notifications out in the community on my other channels. So this is just one of my channels. This is just the channel for this show. And I did that because I didn't want to mix this show with the other show that I do that is not political. So yeah, sub to the channel. Make sure it's easier for me to get the word out to you. And yeah, I know that's Benny. Kiki Street says I don't like Musk. I don't like him. I like his rockets, and I like the fact that we're launching more rockets. Do I like him? No. Would I buy a car just because of who he is? No. I'd rather have a car that's less expensive than that. My investor friend says test is literally impossible to see on where they live. That's key. Oh, yeah. You don't want to have a car that's easy to steal. Randomoniums gives a thumbs up from the husband. So Benny Loco's out there promoting the channel. Thank you, Benny Loco. Mark P says happy Sunday evening. Happy Sunday evening to you, Mark. Kiki says he's got a 2018 Model S that came with lifetime free charging. I can drive anywhere for free. I mean, that is a benefit. I wouldn't, knock that out, And it isn't like I couldn't charge one of those cars. It's just the cost. But then all the cars right now are expensive. I'm not buying a car right now. So anyway. Now that is a good incentive right there. The fact that it has an 8-year warranty. So yeah, I can see why people would make the investment. The only thing is the Hyundai has a 10-year warranty. The 10-year warranty, I think now is better than the one that I got, because the one that I got when I bought my car new was 10 years for the car, engine, and it was 5 years for the rest of it. Clayton asks the following: are my chats going through? Yes, your chats are going through. Remember that if you can't see yourself in chat, it's probably because you're in top chat mode. Correct. 10-year Hyundai is not one limited miles. It was 100,000. I don't really know whether it's still 100,000 because I haven't bought a new one. And Kia had it also, yes, because Robin, Kia and Hyundai are really the same company. They're just different segments of the same company, but they're owned by the same person, or they were. They may not be owned by the same one now. So. Ah. 9 o'clock. Still got about an hour to go. So, what else we got? Now twinding. Mar-a-Lago. What are they saying about it? Oh my goodness, that's funny. Hang on. This is funny. We're seeing sometimes when parody things pop up, I'm not really wanting to show them, but this one is actually worth showing. And I want to make myself small. So the tweet said Mar-a-Lago, and Mar-a-Lago is still making me actually laugh out loud every time I read it. Relieved to hear about the Senate. And then here's the meme of a giant head of Trump, and it says, "Praise the Lord." Larry Underwood says, Biden replaced the worst president in U.S. history, whose only success was dragging the Republican Party into Mar-a-Lago's swamp he vowed to drain. He should be in a museum. Yeah, that's an anti-gay thing there. The Red Wedding is happening at Mar-a-Lago this weekend, so Trump gets the limelight. He may say he'll run in 2024, just make him the center of attention and not Tiffany. That's the kind of man he is. And by the way, he hates this photo. I think it's funny as hell. Enjoy. Whoever did this will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. That I can tell you. Oh my God. The internet has broken me. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh my God, that is hilarious. It shouldn't go unnoticed that after having been vilified for years by Donald Trump, Governor Whitmer went on to get reelected along with the Democrat Attorney General, Secretary of State, and flipped the Michigan State House and Senate. Governor Whitmer wiped the floor with Trump. Trumpty Dumpty, Mar-a-Lago. Animal abuse isn't funny, says Clayton. Yes, I agree. This is our wedding present to the Trump family at Mar-a-Lago. Decision Desk Headquarters, 2020 race projection, United States Senate Democratic control. Who is that tweeted out by? Jay Reed. Okay. Yo, Brian Perry says the only red wave we got was ketchup being tossed against the walls at Mar-a-Lago. Hashtag Democratic Senate. At Tiffany's wedding at Mar-a-Lago, everyone else threw rice, but Trump threw ketchup packets. Elongated muskrat goes, red wave, MAGA, red whimper. The only red wave was Trump making ketchup stains on the walls at Mar-a-Lago. Went to speak to the manager of the midterms, it says. I'm not sure how that pertains. That's something about a homeowners association. Scorched Earth Democrat says now the red wave has turned into nothing more than a ketchup stain on the Mars of Mar-a-Lago. Can we get some folks to turn off the Fox noise and join the rest of us in reality, or even ask what else they lied about? So it's just a clip of Fox News. In court papers, Trump's lawsuit at Mar-a-Lago documents case, Trump lawyers refer to the case being brought by the administration of a rival, referring to the current government versus Trump. By definition, Trump pitted himself as an enemy of the USA. Let that sink in, says Kevin Fode. Jennifer Eager says there should be consequences for treason. These piles of trash should never be allowed to hold office anymore, and that includes the bloated orange bag of pus at Mar-a-Lago and his grifter kids. Tell Congress to expel the... She says, this is a petition you can sign at thepetitionsite.com. Tell Congress to expel the Republicans who plotted the January 6th. Indict 45 now says the king of Mar-a-Lago is really the Milli Vanilli of presidents. That's a good one. Annie C says we did it. Democracy wins. And meanwhile at Mar-a-Lago. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, we have another tweet from Andrea. Got two more, actually. One and two. Okay, we'll take those out. Go over to my other computer and bring them in. Did she send another one, or was that? Just make sure. No, okay, just two so far. All right. Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's up there. Okay, breaking news from Marky Elias. Breaking. Here's the Georgia Secretary of State on November 9th, assuring voters that some counties will likely have Saturday voting following Thanksgiving, after Democrats can take control of the Senate. His office issued guidance last night saying they cannot. So let's play that video.
That some counties may likely have Saturday voting following Thanksgiving, as well as on November 26th. We are working with the counties to find out what their plans are on this front, and as soon as possible, so that their voters can make the best plans. That some counties may likely have Saturday voting.
Okay, so that's his statement. And then there's another one that she sent. So let's go find the other one. Okay, so the Katie Hobbs one. So Katie Hobbs one. Bring that in. Is it big enough? No, it needs to be bigger. And I need to pull myself to the side. A statement from our campaign manager on the Arizona governor results. Statement from Hobbs' campaign manager on today's tabulation results. With the latest tabulation results from Maricopa, Pinal, and Pima counties, Katie Hobbs is the unequivocal favorite to become the next governor of Arizona. Katie has led since the first round of ballots were counted, and after tonight's results, it's clear that this won't change. As the county election officials finalize tabulating the results, I want to again thank every staffer, every volunteer, and every supporter of this campaign. Every door knock, every phone call, and every conversation made the difference in this close race. So what date was that? That was, I can't see the date on that. Date's today. Today at 9:01 p.m. Eastern. So just like 14 minutes ago. So this is headline news from today. Hey, Shorty One, welcome to the live stream. So that's what we got. And I know you sent me a message, but I think that was just to show me that. Yeah. Okay, I did check my email. So that should be what you wanted to see. Okay, we did read that. Okay. All right. Carrie Lake is going down, says Andrea. Yep. So that was just now posted. So Unfortunately, one of our friends has not found his way here tonight, so I'm just going to have to give him the link after the show because he's missed so much of the show that he's going to have to just watch it later. And I don't want to take time away from all of you to send the link to him. But if any of you knows how to get a message to Nick Rich 56, send him the link so that he can watch along with us for the next few minutes. Thanks. He's having difficulties. So, all right. So, what's new? This is an interesting one. This is kind of fun. This is an interesting one. So let me bring this one up. It goes with what we just talked about. And I got to scale that one so you can see it better. Hopefully I didn't make it so big that you can't see it on screen, but so did it move on me? Honest to goodness sake. I was on a different tweet and then it changed. I have no idea. Ah, okay. We have a surprise guest though. So we have Benny Loco checking in with us. How you doing, Benny Loco?
Surprise, surprise. I'm doing terrible, Ken, but that's okay.
Yeah, I heard you were a little bit under the weather, but I was told not to say anything. But I'm happy to hear you in chat. So
something went crunch in my neck this morning when I attempted to get up out of bed. And it's had me crunched up and rolled in half since 6:15 this morning. It's been a crazy day, but I had to come up and say hello because you know I love you guys, and when I can, and I got the link. Holy shit! You know why not?
Exactly.
Now, I want to ask you right here in person in live, like. If I share you on my community tab, there may be some people who come on in who are, well, I'm finding this out now myself, who are not, let's just say, on our side. So I wanted to say, I have no problem sharing any channel out that I appreciate, but I don't want to bring said channel any bullshit either. You know what I mean?
They come in on their own, you know, so I don't worry about
some
them.
bullshit, baby.
All they do is boost my numbers. I just sit over here and just think they're just boosting my numbers. So why worry about them?
I've seen a lot of people though, like, get really discouraged and leave YouTube because of the assholes.
I'm not going anywhere.
Good for you, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, you look awful, Benny. Like a white ball. I feel like a white ball, Rose. I do.
She's the tiny talking head tonight. I wish you were the giant talking head, but you're the tiny talking head. You're doing your Oz impersonation, not Oz the
not that
Oz the great and powerful.
Well, this is from my Urbexing channel. This picture is supposed to be, you know, not you know, crazy and goofy. It's supposed to look a little mysterious. Does it look mysterious?
It looks mysterious to me.
Good. I'm pulsating, yay.
But the reason why I thought about the Wizard of Oz is because of something that Andrea posted earlier on Twitter, where she told Marjorie Taylor Greene that she was powerless, basically saying Glenda the Good Witch's phrase to Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was acting like the good witch, the evil witch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm disoriented because I'm looking at myself in the screen, and I had to put my camera in the normal mode. So this actually is my right hand, and this actually is my left hand. And if people know where the hand should be on the screen, they're in the normal order tonight, because that's the only way I can get the background to display properly. Usually I have the screen reversed so that I see my hands the way I want to see them, and I don't like mess myself up. But
I don't even know how to,
because I turned it the other way.
I have people ask me in my videos of when I'm driving, like, oh, so you weren't driving today? And I'm like, yes, I'm always driving when it's. They're like, but you're in the passenger seat. I'm like, no, the video's flipped.
Because you're using a cell phone camera, and the cell phone camera is always a mirror image.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. Now I do.
Yeah.
And here I was trying to figure out a way to fix it.
Because you're using the selfie camera, right?
Yeah, whatever camera's on the
phone. So
phone.
you're using the camera that you can read the chat. That's a selfie camera. So that's always a mirror image. But the one that points away, the one that looks out on the road, is looking with
is right
the
way around.
Way. Yes. But the selfie is always mirror image, so that when you look at yourself, you raise your right hand and see it on the right side of the screen instead of the left side of the screen.
Well,
so
that's
just a thing that it
learn
does.
Something new every day. Thank you.
As a broadcaster, I know all these little tricks and stuff, and I know like how to deal with this stuff. But
as a household engineer, I was never none of this stuff even entered my mind of doing it.
Oh, it's stuck in my head. You know, I don't know if you can switch that on the phone. Jim says you can, but I don't think I want to do that. That would mess me up. But
yeah, I was trying to figure it out, Jim, but I totally suck at this stuff. I need a manager. I need somebody who works all this stuff. A tech manager. Oh.
I have no idea what happened to the thing. So I'm so glad you came on, because I have no idea what happened to what I was going to look at. It just like up and disappeared.
Of course he does, Rose, but he blames everybody for all of his shortcomings, which are at this point as high as Mount Everest. I mean, Jesus H. Christ, I've never seen such an epic failure in my life as Donald J. Trump.
Dark Webster asked about the term that you use, household engineer. She's calling herself a household engineer because she doesn't want to say domestic, because domestic is why she's domesticated. And she's not domesticated.
Oh, damn it, man.
It's what some people on the right side of the aisle call a housewife, but no, we don't use that term in the Democratic Party.
Thank you, Embezzler. Embezzler. I hate to say your whole name together because of the word, because that's one of his crimes. I love you too, honey.
Jim says if you stay on too long, we'll all get stoned.
Yay! Oh, we got the sex bots in the house. Yeah, the sex bots in the house. You know,
what is it? I think it's
the reason why they use sex bots, because there's such a huge portion of our population that cannot help clicking on something that may lead them to a piece of ass. They just can't help it. And the people who put these bots out know that. Now, I'll tell you little secret. Benny Loco has never, ever watched a porno because Benny Loco doesn't need instructions. See? And everything works and how to use it just fine.
Sorry.
Thank you, Andrea, those little bastards. But you know you've arrived when the sex bots show up.
Yeah, they're trying to, like, you know, capitalize on my viewership. I don't know.
Yeah, buddy. Oh man. Everybody must get stoned. Okay, fire in the hole. I don't have a problem with that. It's time anyway. It's medication time. It's medication time. Not one flew over the cuckoo's nest type medication, though. Thank you, please. I wouldn't mind putting a couple people under one of those buzzy things, though. Little electroshock therapy. Oh my God. Listen, when Reagan closed all the mental institutions and let all those people out in public, it let the floodgates open for these people now who are just mentally unstable because somewhere in their line, they have somebody from one of those insane asylums as a relative. It's you know, it's just, it makes so much sense. All of a sudden, 40 years ago, all these lunatics were released. All of a sudden, 40 years later, we have all these lunatics running around.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of makes sense to me. A lot.
You still there? Did you mute? I think she muted.
I muted because I have my torch on, honey, and it dominates the microphone.
Well, Rosebud mentioned something, so I'm going to temporarily violate the copyright. Probably roll it up like right about here. Where are they actually singing in this video, though? Okay, there he is.
Let's get down.
A little bit of homage to it. Hopefully that didn't violate the copyright by putting that on.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. You know, listen, this is another one of my theories. Is when they put the prohibition on cannabis, it let the door open for so many diseases to rear their ugly heads because cannabis is one of the things that keeps a lot of those diseases at bay and out of the human condition. And now that it's, you know, been completely depleted out of the human condition, there's a lot of conditions that are rearing their ugly heads. I'm staving it all off.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are. That mirroring business is bugging the heck out of me. Besides, it looks better. It looks more like I'm looking at you when I do this. So this makes me happier to see my camera this way. So I'll change my camera now that you're on.
Right on, embezzler. What is it going to be next? So that I know when you come in who you be. A lot of people change their names on the old YouTube. I've never changed my name. But I'm the only Benny Loco out there. There is only one. And for that, I'm so grateful.
Did you see Rosebud's comment. She says Benny should be a rainbow throbbing dot, not a white one.
I don't even know how to change this thing, honey, to tell you the God's honest truth. Oh, shit.
Well, at least you got yours to be something that's characteristic of who you are, because if I turn my camera off, I just have like letters in mine. So
well, there you go.
Yeah, literally. Let me see, how do I turn the camera? If I turn the camera off, it's actually worse than that. I'm just little.
Oh, you're just a little head.
Little dot and some shoulders. I guess I have to load something. I'll have to figure out how to do that.
Somehow, some way, somewhere you can definitely put a picture in. I don't know how, I don't know where. Because my husband set this up for me so that I can minimally use it without having to know how to do a whole bunch. You know.
Yeah.
If I could get him more involved in my channel, it would be a better channel, but he's sick like 80% of the time. So I don't want to pester his ass, when he's feeling good about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's not his thing, it's my thing,
Yeah.
I don't know, Shorty.
Sometimes I think I should move my camera over, because I'm trying to look at you, and it almost looks like I'm always looking away from you. So I'm going to move my camera over. Maybe that'll make me look more like I'm looking right at you. And then people won't think I'm ignoring you and looking the other way. I moved my camera when I was doing my other show the other day, and I'm not really sure why I did it. I just did it, and maybe this is a better place for the camera. So that's the beauty of having an independent camera, is that I can now move it and not.
I'm going to have a better setup one of these days. One of these days. I have everything I need. I have a new computer in the box. I have a beautiful microphone. I have lights. I have everything I need. I just don't know how to set it all up. And Hal was going to come and help me do that a couple of years ago. Now my computer's probably out of date. I probably should trade it in for a new one. Because they go out of style, like not style, but function so quickly.
The one that I started with, and I can show you that, because I can add that to the stream and solo it in. This is the one that I started with, but I have to bring you back in too.
That's cool.
Benny said that's cool while she was out of the screen.
2 cameras.
Yeah, because I have for the newer computer, I have an independent camera that's just sitting on top of the monitor, and the other one is built into my laptop. So I have a laptop now, and I use the laptop one when I want to put some kind of script of read off at the beginning of the show, and go with that, and that way I can look over at this computer and see the chat out of the corner of my eye and see who's coming in while I'm talking to them. So I just try to put everything to use. So if you can see my desk,
you're doing a hell of a job, Ken.
You see my desk now. I have one of those tables like you get, like a whatever it is, like a meeting table when you go meet somebody that's selling you books or something. My son bought it. He left it here, and I'm happy to use it. And it's as big as a portable dining room table. And so I have everything on it. I got a laptop.
Yeah, that's what I got. I got those folding tables.
I got a monitor in the middle. I got a monitor on the side, and and I don't do like Hal does. I don't have like one KVM where I'm just switching between all of them.
What the hell is a KBM?
KBM is when you have one keyboard,
right,
and you have one mouse,
right,
and you have a switch that allows you to connect those to more than one. And so the K is the keyboard, the V is the video, that means the monitor, and the M is the mouse.
Mouse, okay.
So you have just one keyboard, one monitor, one mouse, and you switch it between the computers so that you're always typing on the same keyboard. You're always moving the same mouse.
Right.
You just have to keep pushing little buttons. But I don't have that. I have a keyboard that came with the laptop, so I have to reach over to that keyboard. I have the keyboard that's portable that's here. That's the main keyboard. And I have a keyboard over here that's not wireless, because I was afraid, because I already have 2 wireless mice. I was like, if I get a third wireless, there may be interaction. So I didn't do that. I stuck with, getting a wired one. And the other reason why I did a wired one is because the third computer, it only has to have the keyboard and the mouse plugged into it. It's not supporting my microphone. It's not supporting my camera. So I was content to have wired for that, because I said, well, if I go wired, then I don't run the risk of having radio interference between the keyboards. So or the mic.
Well, one day I'm going to go live. One day I'm going to go live, and I'm going to have my whole new setup set up. And when everybody comes in, they're going to be like, "Holy shit, Benny Loco, you did it!"
Well, if he doesn't come see you, then I'm just going to have to make a trip to wherever you are, California, or if you move to Florida.
Yeah, that's the thing. He drives past my house all the time, going between here and Vegas. LA and Vegas. He goes right past there. I'm like, well, that's kind of convenient. Just stop for a couple hours, give you some food and a beverage. And you could sort my shit out, and I'll send you on your way. That'd be groovy. But that was before he got ever so busy.
Mm-hmm.
That was, just like prior to lockdown.
Mm-hmm. Clayton's asking a question about these people. Clayton, I'll briefly mention, what are they? WATP, what are these podcasts? They are the people that go around criticizing other podcasts. That's all I'm going to say about them. So their mission is to criticize other people's podcasts.
Who's Carl?
I believe that Carl is the one that is in charge of that, the WATP.
Yeah, I don't know what WATP is either.
You can find them if you want to search for them. I'm not gonna publicize them.
Yeah, me either. I vehemently defend YouTube against trolls every waking moment I'm on YouTube. That's what I'm freaking basically doing. And then every now and then I have a live stream, we get hacked. But, mostly I'm out there, even in chats that I'm, not a subscriber to that channel. If somebody comes in and they're fucking around, I report their ass. I don't play. There's no reason for it. Unless you're a child acting like a child, grow the hell up. This is not where you need to come to have your little temper tantrums.
Yep.
You're unhappy with life, go out and change it. You're not going to change it by badgering and bullying other people.
Yep.
Yes, they do, Clayton, way too much. And it exploded when we were all in lockdown. Everybody had a lot of free time. Good, bad, and indifferent people. We were all in lockdown, so. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, Benny's got the most mods.
Yeah, I'm heavily armored up, and I know that everybody who has a wrench in my room will eat about as much shit from a troll as I will, so I'm not worried about it.
Mark calls him Benny's army.
Yep. Yeah, that's you guys are the Jets. You're what comes in and sweeps it out, man. Just
Feed on the dashboard says, "Don't confuse having a different opinion with trolling." We don't.
Listen, trolling is an art form that these assholes have, worked on being completely void of any humanity, and they just go in. Like, I can feel them. You hear what I'm saying there? Feet on the dashboard. I can feel the trolls when they come in. I feel intent, and I feel energies, and yeah. So they're not hard to find, because as soon as they open their mouth, poop starts falling out. And then everybody knows who they are, but I smell them when they arrive. 14 years on this platform, it just, you learn a lot about how it works. And I'm not talking about the technical end of it, because I don't
14 years. You've been on YouTube as long as I've been on Facebook.
Damn. Well, I left Facebook over 7 years ago.
Yeah.
As soon as I knew that Donald was running, I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. I got to get out of here. I saw the shit coming. I was like, oh, no. These people are going to be relentless over here, and I will lose my mind if I stay. So I'm leaving now. Bye. And I left. I use the messenger program on Facebook, but I do not use the application.
Clayton wants to see if I can do Slice alone.
Oh, very good.
She can. Yo, Adrian. Yeah. I don't know. I did some impressions a few weeks back, but I just don't really feel in the mood tonight. I don't know why. It comes and it goes. That's why I leave that to the experts, people who are good at doing the impressions, because they can just pull them out like a handkerchief out of their pocket. And to me, sometimes it just comes and goes. It just like, it's a mood thing with me almost, or it's a vibe that I sometimes feel.
Yep, Mark P., you're exactly right. The ultimate troll. The ultimate I don't have a fucking life troll, because he doesn't have a life. He likes to pretend he has a life, but he doesn't. Nobody likes him. He should be sitting there eating a giant can of worms with a little tiny fork in his little tiny hand. Yes. Because nobody likes him. Everybody hates him. He should eat some worms. And that, Rosebud, I would never go on a platform that's going to fire me or put me in jail or tell me I can't say what I want to say. They can kiss my ass. But, the last time I checked, this was America. And if you got people on there saying things and you refute what they say and you get booted, I don't think so. No. You got people spouting shit that's wrong, untrue, and hateful. And, dare you say anything to them? You bet your goddamn ass. I don't even take this shit in real life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I don't take any shit from anybody for any reason. And I never will. I hate bullies.
Mark P. says something about Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, like, all you have to do Ron DeSantis is just kind of like monotone the whole thing. Okay, so we do have a headline coming in from Andrea, so I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm going to bring it up. So hang on. We've got a headline coming in here.
Yeah, kinky. That's like, you know, you don't give anybody your passwords, man. You just don't. I mean, you know, my husband has my passwords, but he's my husband. I have his passwords, but I'm his wife. Yeah, lock me out and stay out. Exactly, Rosebud. I'm sorry. I don't play that game. No. And I would have been locked out like immediately. If you'd have seen my Facebook, you'd have been like, whoa, how come she's still allowed on Facebook?
I bet you did put in some really cool stuff. I bet it would have been fun to read.
Oh my God. I knew I had to get out of there or it would have been my demise. I was like, these people are crazy, too crazy for me.
So
Katie Porter won. Shut the front door. Katie Porter won. It's etched in stone. Don't tug at my heartstrings. Mark.
So one fierce Democrat reads, "Go Katie, we did it again." And the poster says, "California, Katie Porter, District House 47 projected winner."
Yes. Thank you, California. Oh, hey, Mark P. DeSantis reminds me of that kid Butch on The Little Rascals. Like, that's probably what he looked like when he was a little kid, just like Butch. And Butch, of course, was the bully. Dem shot the girl on their red wave. Yes. Yes, human. People actually got out there. I was a little disappointed because I think there was probably a couple of million people who still sat on their ass and didn't do anything. And that really
Here's Andrea's comment. I'm thinking blue wave, y'all.
Hell yeah, that is great news. And she is such a good woman. She's such a good woman. She's cut out for this work. You know?
Human, I don't know if I said hello to you. I hope I did, but if I didn't, hello and good evening and welcome.
I don't know if you've been able to get a word in edgewise, Ken, because I never.
Well, you're okay. I just don't, you know, sometimes people slip in here and I don't see them slip in here, so it just depends.
That happens to me all the time, and that's why I go back and read my chat so I could see who I missed when they came in and I didn't see them. Like, God damn it. And then the next time I stream, I try to say, I'm sorry, I missed you last time. You know?
Yeah.
It happens. I mean, can you imagine having a chat like Midas Touch has when you got, 40,000 people in the chat, and thank God they finally got the slow mode on. Oh my God. But trying to read something like that is just, it's not possible.
I think the nicest thing that I see on all of the chats that I tend to participate in, though, with politics, with those who support Democrats, is that you have the moderators who come in and say hello to each person, and you have the regulars who do the same thing, and they come in and just greet everybody.
Yes, camaraderie. It's wonderful.
And I see that some on like the welcome back, Elizabeth. I see that some on the the ones that are about space, like the ones that are tracking what's going on out in Texas with the Starship, and the ones that are local here for Kennedy Space Center. But I also see certain channels, which I not mentioned by name, that are too big for their britches, as we used to say. And they just won't talk to anybody or recognize anybody when they're in the live stream, except the ones giving them money. But, when you got a large viewer base, I guess that's what you have to do. Me, I like being small enough to still talk to people one-on-one and just,
Yeah. Now I'm going to say my chats, maybe I get 20 people sometimes, maybe 25. And that number is hard for me to read. And I'll tell you why. Because of my brain injury.
Right.
I used to be able to read, just scan read, like speed reading, like Hal does. And I can't get through a paragraph now without having to go back to the beginning and start all over again because I've already forgotten what it was I started to read, which is quite frustrating. So that's why chat situations are kind of cool for me because they're mostly just sentences, easy to read, But then when you get a paragraph, it's like, whoa. And I'm not saying anything to you, Embezzler. I mean, it's nice and slow in here right now, and I can read the entire chat, which is cool. I know Ken can read the entire chat because he just can.
Embezzler says, Benny Loco taking these punks on as an extension of what happened last Tuesday. The good people win. It just takes them more time and effort than the bad ones. Benny stomped a muddle into the fools.
I'm loaded for bear, and I'm not done hunting yet. That's why. We got a long road to hoe. In case you didn't know.
This is a surprise. Kinky says 2 weeks ago, 60 Minutes labeled Midas touch as extreme left. I lost respect in 60 Minutes even more after that. Midas is not extreme left at all. No, they're not.
It's not. Not at all. I mean, come on. They're just the for real. And they're very educated and smart about all that's going on with this bullshit.
Mark P. responds to Embezzler and to you, Benny Loco. It was a thing of beauty to see Trump's handpicked election-denying candidates lose, particularly the Secretary of State candidates who control state elections.
I know. Listen, all of this has hopefully taught all Americans who are listening how terribly fragile our democracy is and how easily everything can just be taken away just like that. They've been working on this for 40 years. I've been watching it strip things away from education and the people. And I watch people sleep and not do anything about it. I'm like, where is everybody? Doesn't anybody see what's happening? This can't be only me. And then you go out and you start to talk to people and everybody's turned off. They're just not tuned in at all, which is sad.
Clayton asks what I'm drinking.
Well, an PBR.
Clayton asks what I'm drinking. If I could remember the exact line, I'm drinking pure, unadulterated quality H2O, but I can't say it like my famous comedian friend can say it in that movie, The Water Boy.
Water boy, bring me some water. Yeah, I don't care for TYT. I never did. I used to go over there and offload on them once in a while. I had some angst going on. Go over to TYT and tell them about themselves. But then I stopped. I was like, they heard me. They saw what I said. I would even super chat them and tell them to kiss my ass.
I could have been smart ass and I could have answered that question and said, I'm drinking dihydrogen oxide.
There you go. Tan your tank.
I'm sorry, that probably made you hurt when you laughed.
Oh my God. Laughing feels good even if it hurts. Oh my God. Yeah, our left media has communist. Oh my God. Did you see that PBR now is making a THC infused beverage, Clayton? I did a video about it. Yeah, THC PBR. It's this particular one is strawberry kiwi.
Wow.
Alcohol free. Mm.
That is the modern thing, to have flavors that are fruit flavors. That's definitely the modern thing. I never really got into that.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I drank, mostly I drank rum and Coke in the 80s because that was my drink. And, and something else that was made with rum, but I've forgotten the name of it, but it was a fruity drink. It was real popular, but I can't even remember what it was called. And on the nights when I was being real crazy, I would drink the Long Island iced tea, which has no iced tea in it. So I would have two rum and Cokes, 2 Long Island iced teas, and 2 beers.
That would lay me right out in the coffin right there. I'd die of alcohol poisoning. There's no doubt.
I always had a full stomach, and I weighed more than I weigh now, so it didn't faze me at all. But I drank 1 beer on a nearly empty stomach, and I was like, here, to my cousin, take the keys.
Huh.
The cops were busting people that night anyway, because there was like a fight in the bar, and I was like to my cousin, take the keys. You know if you're intoxicated or not. I don't want to get arrested.
Yeah, now my parents owned a restaurant bar up in New York State, and I tended bar for 10 years. And I learned that, most drunk people are okay to be around, but there's a few of them that, wow. Let's just say they're a little hard to get out the bar.
Mark says he can't remember the last time he had an alcoholic drink. I can.
When Mother Nature was here, I had a little bit of half and half with some amaretto, and it was very nice.
I had one it should be. I had one the night of my wife's funeral with my sister. We had wine because somebody had given us wine. Because what happened was my wife and I renovated our house 3 years ago, and it was mostly finished in 2020. So we started it in 2019 about this time.
Right.
It was mostly finished by spring of 2020. And then the guy came back and did some more work in 2021. And he finished up again right about this time of year before the Christmas season started. And so my neighbor, when we moved back into the house in December of 2019, he gave us a bottle of wine as a housewarming gift. And my wife and I never drank it. We never found a reason to drink it. So when my wife died and the funeral happened, my sister and I drank wine because I said, well, I have wine. So we had wine. Yeah. And, there you go. And, we just drank to my wife and just, that was the last time.
It's good to have something to toast to, but to just sit there and drink and drink and drink and drink, it's fucking ridiculous.
Before that, I would have to say it was probably an election because I used to drink a beer after the election season.
Yes. I remember the beer that I opened when Clinton beat Bush. And I was like, Clinton, this Bush is for you. It was a Bush beer.
Yeah, but I'd usually drink on the night of the election because I would have to work the election as an engineer at a TV station. So I would be, up past my usual hours, and I'd just like drink that beer to help myself go to sleep. And that was what I would do. And the only other time, like I might drink like after some other live event that was involved that I'd work because just to, de-stress.
I know, me too, Elizabeth. I was like, this is where the rubber meets the road, and they really take purchase because we've gone and let them cheat. We've gone and absolutely let them cheat, and that that was like, one of the big last chances we had to stand up to do something before all this shit happened. But that was then, and this is now. And now we're dealing with the shit because we didn't fucking stand up to it then. It's so important to fight for what's right. No matter whose goddamn toes you're stepping on. Yes, he did win, Rosebud.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though, that when certain candidates say that they've conceded, they just stick with it.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be that way because there's so many people who did everything they could to get that person to where they are. And for them to concede when it's full well known that there's fucking chicanery going on, it robs us. It robs us. We're being cheated. We're being robbed of our rightful electors. The people who we voted for. That's what this is supposed to be about. And these motherfuckers cheat every chance they get. At every turn, at every angle. They play the dirtiest pool I've ever seen. Because they got nothing. They have one mission. And that's, to spread their hate and visceral. Make this into, fucking 1940 Nazi Germany. And I ain't having it. No. Sorry. Not on my watch.
Yep. Your turkey looks like a lobster, Rosebud. That's interesting. That's an interesting comment. My turkey looks like a lobster.
Well, hot damn, I'm coming to your house for turkey.
That makes you wonder if she means that her turkey is a lobster.
I'm sure it's got to be. It's got to be. Oh my God, lobster! Oh, I haven't had that in forever either.
Oh yeah, she confirms it. That's because it is a lobster.
20 years. Wow.
First time I ever had lobster was on a Pan American World Airways flight. I was in Houston, Texas. I was getting on my flight with my mother and my grandfather, and we were going somewhere, and they had to delay our flight because of severe lightning at the airport. And so we were delayed like an hour or more, and they upgraded us to first class food and gave us lobster tails. So that was the first time I ever had lobster.
All the times I've flown, I've never been bumped up yet. And every time I buy a ticket, I'm like, this is the time. This is when it's going to happen.
Well, they didn't actually put us in first class. They just gave us the first class passengers food. So because they made us wait, I guess they cooked more food so that we got better food. But no, I've never been upgraded to a better seat. And
flying is not my thing anymore because you can't smoke on the airplanes. Used to be able to smoke on the airplane. I'd rather drive. Then I can have a cigarette. Weed is still illegal in Ireland. God dang it. 9/11 doesn't. Yep. You're right.
Mark is saying serious things. Just think how different the world would have looked if Gore had been declared a winner in 2000. We would have responded to prevent 9/11 attacks. Intel was known in August, I believe. 9/11 doesn't happen. We don't have the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
And we'd be on top of our global weather situation. it wouldn't be as spun out as it is now. You see.
The only thing about that, Mark, though, is that you're assuming that all other things are held equal and you change those events. And that's the thing we'll never know. If he really was president, would everything else unfold that way? So we'll never know.
Well, of course, we'll never know. But when one path is taken over another, the outcome is always going to be different because it's a completely different path. And the scary thing is there's so many paths to choose. Now, like I'm going to refer to, something Hal says, always choose less evil. Always choose less evil. And if there's a good path to take the good path. They're not all evil. Test rooms to make sure they're safe. Kinky, there's no way that I would mess with anything that I didn't know came from a reliable source who knew. I heard this program on NPR one time, and it was this man and his wife and another couple, and they were experts on mushrooms, and they went out shrooming, and a couple of them wound up dying. A couple of them wound up having, liver failure and kidney failure and going blind. So, mushrooms are a tricky issue.
So Mark P says, I'm thinking if you change that one thing, all other things that happen afterwards are different.
Yeah.
And that's what Benny said. And I will tell you that I'm a fan of the movie Butterfly Effect.
Butterfly Effect. Yep.
So
I've always known about the butterfly effect. I mean, it just internally knew that if I did something that it would cause a ripple effect. I've always known that. I don't know how, I just have.
And Mark is coming along saying the first thought that I had. If Gore was president, we may or may not have had Obama.
Yeah. Well, I think we might have, and I think Obama would have been put in a much better spot instead of the shitty spot that he was put in, and we would have even done that much better and been that much further along with that much more accepting people. It's just the ignorance of people rejecting other people because of the color of their skin.
Singling out Mark P, but Mark P says he hasn't seen that movie. Mark P, if you get a chance, watch that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's
a good movie.
It's Ashton Kutcher, isn't it? I think so.
Yes, it is Ashton Kutcher, and it's like
one of the best roles that Ashton Kutcher ever played.
I was just going to say it's one of the best roles that I've ever seen him in because he wasn't being a goofball.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing serious work.
So if you think Ashton Kutcher can only be "Dude, Where's My Car" or something of that effect, go see Butterfly Effect when you get a chance to see it. I won't spoil it. I won't tell you anything about it. It is very
Not a word. Yeah, even if they match Kinky, there's copycats, and that's what happened to this expert and his.
Trucker John says we had this conversation on Thursday. Yes, I brought it up then too. We were discussing the same kind of topic.
You've seen that, Clayton? It's a good movie.
Actually, this whole thing, things can be worse if you try to change the past. That really goes back to the first time machine movie that I fell in love with. The one, I'm not sure who's the actor. It's the one that's set in like the First World War, though, I think, as the current timeline that he leaves.
Yeah, that was like one of my.
Or the remake from the 70s. I've always liked time films. Back to the Future defies everything else that most other time films defy. Marty has it all too easy. Oh, Marty says current show that explores alternate timelines is called For All Mankind. Premise of the show is that Russians were first to put man on the moon instead of the United States.
Huh. See, I don't watch any television or anything like that. Everything I watch is to make me giggle, and it's all vintage television. And it's all on YouTube, so I don't need TV. I don't need to pay for TV. Thank God.
Elizabeth says the clock moves forward. This is our visual on what forces we are dealing with, and says we learn how they've cheated and we stop them from doing it again. Yes, that's pretty much what Al says. Make sure you don't let them do it again.
That's right. We got to keep our fucking shoulder to the grindstone, though. We can't drop the ball. We can't keep dropping the ball. That's not how the game is played.
Clayton says, since you only do this show once a week, is there a place every talk's in between? I'd like to chat with everybody more often.
Oh, hell, we're all over the place, Clayton.
We're mostly on, like Hal Sparks.
We're like cow shit. We're everywhere. Benny Loco has a show. Let me see who else is here that has a show. Anybody over here? Anybody else in here do live streaming? Just you and I can? Stop. John does. Trucker John. Trucker John's channel, because he does live streams. He makes nice little videos to watch too.
And
I'm looking.
Michael's podcast as well as Airborne. Richard.
Yeah, Richard Ojeda. Midas Touch. Tony Michaels and Gabe Sanchez. They got a nice little show. We meet up in so many places. It's not even funny. Thank you, Freedom. I appreciate you doing that. Because there's so many places. I'm everywhere. I go everywhere. I've got to. Some places I can't stay.
Yeah, I can't extend the name of my Twitch channel, but when I put up the YouTube channel, you see my name is now in it.
Mary Trump as well. Yes.
I listened to Rosebud, who said I should put my name in the channel, so I did for YouTube.
Yes, absolutely. Liberal Dan, thank you, Trucker John. There's just so many, and my memory is not good. That's why I depend on notifications or somebody to tell me, hey, so-and-so's on. Like, I didn't know you were on, Ken. I got an alert on the backside. God damn it. Okay, I'm on my way.
Here's another one people should check out, Liberal Dan. I think that's Tuesday night.
Stephanie Miller.
In the morning, Stephanie Miller. So she's on for 3 hours before Hal comes on with his morning show. You have to go find her.
Yeah, I don't go into any forums, Clayton, so I don't know about that. But I think there's a few places where people do that as well. Oh, Andrea. What was that movie, Up, where they had the little voice boxes for the dogs? We could get Andrea one of those little voice boxes, and then what she thinks will come out.
Andrea, I want to take this time to remind everyone that Andrea does a fine job as executive producer of this show. She feeds me links throughout the show. to make sure that you see the latest information out there on social media. So even though you don't hear Andrea's voice, she is completely involved in this show, and she is still a part of this show. And we thank you, Andrea, for your participation and your encouragement. And there really wouldn't even be a show without Andrea, because Andrea was the one who talked me into doing the show in the first place.
There you go. How do you like them apples? Brian Tyler Cohen, yes. Now that's a chat to mod in right there, I'll tell you what. I mod for Brian, and his chat is another one that, you know, you can't read what anybody's saying. All you're doing is looking for trolls. It's so hard to say hello to anybody or anything.
Okay, Andrea corrected me. It's Wednesday night for Liberal Dan. I don't know why I thought it was Tuesday night.
Texas Paul, absolutely Texas Paul.
Yeah, there's another one. I don't find time to actually go watch his channel, but I do see his little.
You know what, Ken? Let me tell you and everybody else something. When you go to bed at night, turn on somebody's channel, hit the playlist, and just let it play through the night. Muted, you don't have to hear it, just let it play. It's so good for their channel. Gives them watch time so they can get up into the algorithm, so it boosts them up the list of channels that are recommended. It 100% works, and I do that for so many channels. I leave like 5 to 7 streams of playlists going when I go to bed at night.
I've had stuff playing on these older phones, and like I'll be playing it and somebody will call me on the phone and I'll just turn it down and I'll just leave it playing.
That is one of the very best things you could do for somebody's channel. So if you're listening, guys, you know, you could turn my channel on too. I have one of those channels. I have playlists. I'm doing a how. I have playlists. Yeah, man. I mean, I have over 2,000 videos. I don't know how many shorts I have.
Have you set your handle to Benny Loco to where you actually have that as your YouTube channel handle? They just started doing something.
Name. I
Channel
come in
handle.
as, that's my name, Benny Loco. Don't wear it out.
ENNILOCO.
I'm the only one out there too, so I'm so easy to find. Should be the
Yeah, but I was just wondering. Oh, okay. You have the deal with you.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna put that up for everybody. This is Benny Loco's channel.
Oh, I think you can. I appreciate that. Benny Loco loves, and you know, it's not a lie. Fiercely sometimes even frantically, but it's always out of love. I turn up the gas when I have to. Make it a hot love. Yeah, no, Farron doesn't have a chat.
He just posts videos though.
Yeah, he does like crazy. Very prolific video producer.
Andrea says she follows your routine. She picks 3 channels a week and does just that.
Yep. It's what you do. If you want to help channels out, that is the best thing you can do to do something without doing really anything at all. You don't even have to participate. You just roll their watch time. And that is the most important thing that a channel can get. Period. That's what's going to put you up higher in the recommended list. The more people watch your stuff, the more your channel is played, the higher up it goes. Glenn Kirshner, yes. You like that, Mark P?
Trucker John says, pick mine, pick me. You pick mine.
I like hanging out with Trucker John. And he's only a minute from me right now, I think.
And Andrea suggests these: Glenn Kirshner, Michael Cohen, and political girl or politics girl.
Yeah, politics girl. I have a hard time getting around her bun and her piercing eyes. Her eyes are very piercing, and they kind of like have electricity coming out of them. They're very difficult for me to look at. I think it sounds weird, but so that's a channel I can listen to, but I don't have to watch it. I can play it in the background while I'm doing something else and hear what she has to say, but also a very good channel.
Mm-hmm.
Justice Matters. Oh my God. I'm waiting for that to be the fashion again, Elizabeth. Yeah, Chris is cool. I like Chris though. I love when he comes on all mussed up like he just rolled out of the bed. He's so adorable.
Something non-political inside of you with Michael Rosenbaum. It's a weekly interview show with entertainers, actors, musicians, etc. Deep discussions like a therapy session. And when I was certain democracy was over, Benny Loco and Andrea Bauer made me realize quitting isn't an option. I thought when Stuttering John gave us We Were Doomed, happy I found these two gems.
Well, there you go, honey. You know,
Andrea says, I don't get to watch Trucker John as much as I want to live, but I do watch replays.
Hey, Trucker John, are you in a car rental right now? Are you just riding around Vegas?
This is also a show name, Crystal?
Yes. Krista Evalis.
Evalis.
Yeah. He's adorable.
Elizabeth likes Tom Hartman.
Tom Hartman's a little dry for me, but I do support his show as well. I support anybody's show who's out there supporting us, the people.
Elizabeth likes Allison Gill and John Fugelsang. I see John Fugelsang on Stephanie Miller's show.
Yeah.
I'll actually go get his own show.
We have so many good voices out there speaking up for us. We really, really do. We just need to be louder and stick to our guns. We've got to stick to our guns. We can't get lackadaisy. We have to make these people do their job that they've been empowered to do. Because in any other industry, any other company, any other job, if an employee doesn't do their job, they got
Andrea
to go.
says Bob Seska and Kimberly Johnson, and unless I make a mistake, I think that's his wife.
Yeah, Bob is cool.
Human Up Being says, I wish Washington Journal on C-SPAN had a chat. The thing you'll get to that is being able to call in and make a comment, I think. Or
yeah, which is unfortunate.
Elizabeth says Bob Seska. And
Bob Seska kind of reminds me of my oldest son a little bit with glasses.
And I want to ask John about this. I'm back at the Strat. Does that mean you're playing? Are you? Does that mean he's playing a guitar, or is he talking about a location?
Hotel. That's the name of his hotel. He's up in Vegas. He's only a few hours from me, and I would be so cool if we could, have a meet and greet.
Elizabeth says Victor Shy. We showed Victor Shy earlier, and Jill Wine Banks. Are they both on MSNBC? Maybe. I know Victor is. Andrea says Dino Badala.
Oh, I adore him. I absolutely adore him. Now, that's a set of eyes that I can look in and see all of that compassion that he has.
Randy Rhodes. I think Randy Rhodes.
Yeah. Randy doesn't let you type caps in her chat, so I can't go over there. I can't. I just can't. I'm like, come on, man.
Brian Karam.
Yep, love me some Brian.
Oh, John, we need to get your truck out of the shop.
Okay, listen, that's what I'm saying, John. So are you in a rental car right now? Because I noticed while you were driving around in the video that I watched today that you are not in your truck because it's in the shop. God damn it.
Brian Karam, Lincoln's Bible, and Lincoln Project.
I don't know how Discord works, Clayton. Sorry, I can't. I can do no
Clayton,
help.
we don't publish the Discord because we had problems with it. So, you know, it's kind of just an inside thing for a few people. So we don't really have a public Discord anymore because it got abused. And the people that are on it aren't really using it, so you wouldn't gain anything by being on it.
And we did it, embezzler. Look where we are now. Look where we are now. You got to push that energy to the right place and push it to the good, push it to the good, push it to the good. Sometimes pushing it to the good is so goddamn hard, but you just got to keep pushing. That's all you can do. And the reward is worth it. I mean, I truly believe that next election cycle, we're going to see a whole bunch more people turn out that didn't even turn out in this one. And this one was so important. Next one is going to be just as important. And thereafter, probably, for the next 10 years, till we can smooth things out to where everything's fair for everybody. I mean, we're supposed to be free. We're supposed to be able to marry who we want and, choose to act how we want and dress how we want and, just be who we want to be without the hate. And it's simple. We just got to get rid of the people who want all that hate because we don't want it. We don't want it. It's not what we want. That's not what America is about. And, I'm hoping that in my lifetime that I can see the changes that we're fighting for now, that I can see them implemented and working for the people.
So there are a couple more suggestions here. Political Voices Network and Politicon have a lot of these people. So check those out too. You'll find those on YouTube. And Ojeda Live, but he's not streaming. So I don't know.
He streams on Facebook now. He hasn't been streaming on YouTube, but he has been streaming on Facebook. And unfortunately, I don't watch Facebook, so I've missed everything. But he does post videos. Now, I'm thinking that once he gets settled into his new place, that he'll be streaming for us again. He's got all kinds of shit going on right now. So,
I was just going to say that. Usually when he's on his mobile, he only streams on Facebook because he doesn't know how to do it on his mobile.
Well, him and I are a lot alike in that old technology department. All this shit.
you can multi-platform on the mobile. It's just, how well.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it either.
And I'll tell you,
he's not YouTube, Joe.
And I'll tell you the one thing about my mobile is this is the size of my mobile, if I can figure out where to put it for the camera. This is my phone. You see, my phone is not much bigger than my hand.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be reading your chat on this, especially not when it's hanging on my dashboard.
Yeah, that's mostly what I read my chat on when it's hanging on my dashboard. Because I do drive streams all the time. You know, all the time. A couple times a week for sure.
Yeah.
Clayton, it was very nice to meet you. Have a good evening and enjoy your movie.
Good night, Clayton. Thanks.
I hope it's a whopper. Yeah, Bo of the Fifth Column is very good. I go and listen to Bo when I need some peace in my soul. I listen to him every day. So there you have it.
Okay, well, unfortunately, it's getting late for me.
Yes, it is, honey. I can see that now that you said time.
I enjoyed having you on as today's guest, Benny Loco, and I'm so happy that you found the time to be on with me. And it's always good to have your wisdom and insight.
I was hoping I would feel a little better by this time this evening, but that didn't quite happen. So next time you get 100%.
Oh, I always get 100% from you. It's just, you know, I can understand why you want to hide behind the veil of mysterious pictures so that we don't see how much you're hurting.
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight. He's not. I love you guys, though. And no matter how crazy I get in the chats, because sometimes I just go around the twist. And those are the times when I am figuring out how to get on to the next thing and deal with that. And it's just expelling all the shit from the last thing we were in.
Hey, Casper, in Central Time, it's 9:34 right now. So you're welcome, Elizabeth.
But I love you guys. Thank you, Ken, for having me out.
Oh, you're welcome. Please come back whenever you want to.
Well, you know where I am, honey. Hit me up.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bonjour.
Now, usually I play a video at this point, but I'm just going to say goodbye to everybody on camera instead. So as you say goodbye, I'm going to say goodbye to Andrea, Rosebud, Elizabeth, Casper, Mark P., Human F Being. Great to have you all here today for the live broadcast. Be sure, if you're a HAL viewer, to come back tomorrow morning. HAL will be back. It'll be Monday morning again. And just, you know, hang in there. Good night, Trekker John. I don't know how many people we got. We got 13 of you on YouTube and 1 of you on Twitch. So I don't know if my Twitch viewers out there, or if that's just Andrea doubling up on Twitch to make sure that she could say hello to anybody out there. But we did have a viewer on Twitch earlier. So everybody, thanks for coming. Y'all making this a great show to do. And thank you for our moderators, for Andrea and Benny Loco, and Modstar, if you're hiding out there. I'm not sure if you're hiding out there. So thank you so much. And Nick Rich, you finally made it. I was wondering if you made it in here. Watch the replay. And Nick Rich, you know, if something happened to you this time where you didn't get to see the start of the show, we'll have to figure that out, the two of us. So good to see you, Nick Rich 56. Okay. Main thing to do, Nick Rich 56, is make sure you subscribe to this channel that you're on right now. That way you'll get the notifications as long as they send it out. You know how YouTube can be with notifications, but I don't do anything to suppress any notifications. So if the notification is late getting to you, that's just you, your YouTube app, or your device. or the internet in general. So good night to everyone. I think everybody that is chatting has been acknowledged here, and anybody that's lurking out there, if we have anybody still lurking out there that was in chat earlier. I know that we had Robin earlier, and we had Jim. I think Jim probably called it a night, but Jim, if you're out there and you're listening, thank you for coming. Thank you, Robin. And, just everybody have a good thing. And Nick Rich 56, oh, Kinky, yes, you're out there too. Thank you for coming in tonight and chatting with us. Nick Rich says, to the stars, Ken. So I will mention, this is the evening of the 13th. And on the evening of the 15th, which will be Tuesday night, on the evening of the 15th, as the night ends and midnight comes at 1:04 a.m. Eastern, which is 10:04 Pacific, NASA's going to try to launch Artemis. They're going to have a 2-hour window for that. So between 1:04 to 3:04 Eastern, or 10 p.m. to 4 minutes after midnight Pacific, NASA's going to try to launch Artemis. So be ready for that, especially if you're in a location where you can go out and look at it. It's going to be one of the biggest rockets ever. The Atlas V was actually a bigger rocket, but this is going to be very powerful. So you may see it, maybe very bright in the sky if you're lucky. And if you're close enough to hear, you may hear it, because it's going to be a loud one. So we'll see how that goes. I have got my 35 millimeter film ready. I've got my camera with batteries in it. I'm ready. I'm going to go out and take pictures, and hopefully I'm not going to have clouds in the way, and hopefully it's going to go. That is the evening of the 15th. You go out and you start thinking about going out after midnight, but it happens at 1:04 a.m. Eastern time. So it is November 16th, but you're going out on the evening of the 15th to prep for it. You're finding your place. So just be ready for that. I don't know if I can live stream anything, and if I do live stream anything, it'll be on my other channel, which is Slightly Off Axis, spelled AXIS podcast. So if I can, I will. But if I live stream, it's not going to be that much to look at, because I will just have my other camera. I'm going to test putting my other camera on the tripod that is my extra tripod that my son left behind. And I might get something with that, but it'd just sort of be like the rocket trail, because I won't be able to zoom with that and mess with that while I'm trying to use my other camera to take pictures of the rocket. So yeah, November 15th into 16th, 1:04 Eastern Standard Time, 12:04. It's 12:04 Central Time, so it's just 4 minutes after midnight. It's 11:04 Mountain, which is November 15th still, and 10:04 p.m. PST, which is still November 15th. So yeah, it overlaps the days depending on when you're looking for it, and you're going to go to let me put the website up for NASA, www.nasa.gov. That's the website for NASA. Did it show? No, I didn't click it. www.nasa.gov. or you go find NASA Live. On YouTube. NASA Live. Go around, find the official NASA Live, find that it is the official channel, subscribe to it so you get the notifications if you don't live around here. Because everybody's going to say, we're NASA, they're going to put NASA, they're going to put Live, they're going to put Artemis. You're going to have all these other places broadcasting it. Better to just go to the source. So, all right. So I'm going to close this out. Thank you, everyone. You've made this really fun. Normally I play the video at the end, but I'm ready to go to sleep. So in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ending the stream.